I only spent 2 minutes talking about this online, but I thought about it every single minute of every single day for over a year. Just feeling very traumatized from the reaction to the video I posted.
He left for a year because he made a video about Starbucks and how they were failing as a business. And in there, he lightly referenced Israel-Palestine, but didn't get into it enough for his audience. Okay, you're a socially aware content creator. You probably should have gotten into it a little bit more. So then afterward, instead of just being quiet when you got a little bit of pushback, you make a 2-minute video. And in that video, you say it wasn't just like a mistake to leave it out. You actively and intentionally decided not to talk about Israel-Palestine. So now you're telling us that it was a meaningful decision to stay out of it as socially aware content creator. That's like your whole thing. And now you're telling us that you were traumatized by mean comments. This is the individual who disappeared during the height of Andrew Tate. And then he came back once he was a lolcow because we all were like, yeah, this is a sex trafficking. And he came back and is like, hey guys, here's why Andrew Tate's bad. It's like you disappear when things get tough and then you come back and you're like, all right, I guess D'Angelo Wallace is back for the 15th time after his 16th break. Maybe 14th. I don't know what the numbers are. Guys, I'm bad at numbers. Anyway, you guys send this to me. I guess it looks interesting. Interesting new identity. By the way, from a media literacy perspective, anytime a character in a show or a game or some kind of media gets a haircut, it usually signifies a significant change in their life or in their behavior. Character growth. Keep watching out for that. Let's check out what we got from character growth from D'Angelo Wallace.
A 91-year-old racist died the other day.
Nice.
But everyone online was just singing her praises. Like, oh my gosh, legend, icon.
Who died?
You will be missed. And you know what? For once, I don't blame them. Hi, my name is D'Angelo.
Who died?
Oh, and this is a video about stupid people online, why I left for like an entire year, and most importantly, why I'm back now.
Can I just tell you something? Like, God bless to this person. Like, you know, cool stuff. I respect it. I don't know if they're identifying differently. That's why I said person. You know, I mean, people, they do their thing. I appreciate it. But it's so interesting that this individual just like disappears during like the hard times. Isn't it weird? It's like I remember during Andrew Tate, before it was pretty much confirmed that he was a sex trafficking rapist piece of shit. I remember like this guy disappeared and like we were all like doing the commentary online and then things shifted and there was like, wait a minute, this guy's disgusting. And then like, you know, a lot of people were like, oh, this guy's a bad person. Like I'm obviously myself included. I'm not anything special, but you know, and then like after everybody finally like Andrew Tate became a meme, he like I saw D'Angelo came back and he's like, I'm making an Andrew Tate video. It's like, okay. Like, why not do that when it was more important, you know? You know what I mean? Like maybe that sounds like silly and stupid. But it's like, oh, I guess now that everything's easy, and it was never necessarily hard. I mean, the only thing you'd get is people in your DMs telling you to take your life, which I don't care about, but it could be stressful for other people, I guess. It's like you couldn't deal with that. I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter. You know.
I've been doing this my entire 20s. Okay? I'm not an OG yet, but I'm on my way. I've been posting videos to the internet actually since I was 19.
So base king. That's kind of weird. I just feel like you lose a perspective, like if you never work a real job in any meaningful capacity, like not just a job, but also like having real, you know, financial obligations, you know.
I'm 27 now. And let me tell you, there's been a bit of a shift. Commentary viewers have gotten really dumb.
I think they've always been dumb, but like now you're getting older and you're realizing that the online atmosphere is incredibly stupid.
Asterisk. The asterisk is not all of them. I would actually venture to say
probably you got to watch this watch a second stream. He literally explains how he gets depressed every time he leaves for a year and he's really glad he's a YouTuber because he can't do a 9 to 5. That's kind of pathetic, but I don't know. I just feel like whatever. I mean, you know, so this is self-aware king, I guess. I'm not watching his like streams. They're like hours long though. I don't care.
Say not most of them, but certainly enough of them that I did feel compelled to make this video.
It's not just commentary viewers, it's everybody. It's like politically, especially the political people. Like these fucking slop consumers are fucking dumb. And I know I make slop a lot of times, but still people are fucking stupid. My slop community though, they're all perfect. They're all perfect.
And I know that it's kind of a big ask, a large creator sitting on a platform and saying, actually, I think some of the people who are supporting me might have the stupid. But
not my guys. You guys are all smart as hell. Okay. A lot of you are probably dumb. But so am I. So it all works out.
That's why I would ask that you hear me out, because believe it or not, I'm pretty sure there's a simple explanation for what's going on here. So I would like to start by talking to you about Brigitte Bardot, because I think
who the fuck is Brigitte Bardot?
Even if I tried to explain the scenario in a long-winded 45-minute dramatic video,
Brigitte Bardot, got it. Now I know. I have no idea.
Editing D'Angelo here, tell me why the video is still 40 minutes long. Tell me how I sat down and said I'm not going to talk for 40 minutes and then talk for 40 minutes.
Oh, see her name. Her name is BB. Israel? Not good. Israel's fine, but then Yahoo's a war criminal.
It's why am I like this? Nothing would illustrate my point as clearly as this Brigitte Bardot situation. So this is Brigitte Bardot. She kind of
a baddie.
Died on Sunday, as you can see over here. And for those of you who don't know, she was known for her acting. She actually retired in 1973, but man, she was grinding before that.
Damn, the first OF star.
My 2026 New Year's resolutions: upload more videos this year than Brigitte Bardot starred in. Anyway, she was also known for being hot. I don't think that's disrespectful to say. We have eyes. It was
she's a baddie.
Definitely a large part of her packaging. And later in her life, she was known for her animal activism, which she devoted a large portion of her energy to.
Damn, I would have focused more on humans, dude. You know,
after stepping away from the entertainment industry. And like Miss Bardot,
it's interesting how people like animals more than people. You know, it's like I guess there's an innocence there that they can appreciate. Which reminds me, you guys should watch the Dracula movie. It's pretty good, actually. Also, Papago Leftovers, cool content over there. Pretty good. It's commentary. Take a look at it, dude.
Though was a little before my time, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, no shit. You're like 28 and she's like fucking 91. I don't even know who the fuck she is either.
I said she retired in the early 70s, and I was born in the early 70s, as you can see.
Obviously. Okay.
I just age at half the rate of a normal human. It involves a lot of sacrifice. Don't worry about it. I ain't wake up looking like this. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I did, because I sacrificed so many people to do it. But
so true, King.
I say many people in my age range mostly knew about Brigitte Bardot through like name drops. For example, in Olivia Rodrigo's song Lacey, she says,
I don't even really know who Olivia Rodrigo is. Is she the guy that did Addams Family? Who is that?
Dazzling starlet, Bardot reincarnate, aren't you the greatest thing to ever exist? Basically, we just thought she was kind of cool and old. Right. That was pretty much the only thing I knew about her. And when
what'd you find out she's racist? Of course she's racist. She's like fucking 91 years old. All old people are racist. All old people are dumb and racist. And this is something that you guys have to understand. All of them are dumb and racist. They grew up in a time where education was not. Our education nowadays is terrible too, but it was worse back then. You know, they're dumb. And they're race, and let's be clear, dumbness. It's a great word language. What the fuck? Great word choice. Dumb and racist go hand in hand. Racism is low IQ behavior unless you're joking. Okay, if you're just making a joke, it's actually high IQ behavior, guys. Keep it up. But racism is low IQ behavior. You know?
She died, and the vast majority of the headlines were like, oh my gosh, look how pretty she was. Look how much activism she did. Rest in peace to a legend. Brigitte Bardot, movie idol who renounced stardom, dies at 91. She was a world-famous sex symbol.
Well, people tend to whitewash somebody out when they pass away. Like Charlie Kirk was tragically taken from us, and then people were like, he was actually amazing. And it's like, no, he was actually shit, but he never deserved to die. That's a fact. Also, horrible human being. Right? But we whitewash him. He was really good. People compared him to Martin Luther King, the guy Charlie Kirk hated. Isn't that so interesting? He probably rolled in his fucking grave, dude.
Symbol in the 50s. She later gave up acting to devote her life to animal welfare. That's a headline on the New York Times. Okay, this is essentially in the first few hours how this was being reported. And
I think I do want to take a second to just bless Charlie Kirk. We blessed up because there's a mirror on my ceiling, and this way it comes back where it actually is.
So when a bunch of celebrities started posting things like,
which is in my heart,
oh, that's sad, rest in peace, Brigitte Bardot, I don't think there was anything wrong with that. Okay, I think it's pretty reasonable to say that was just motivated by general sadness. It's not nice to hear that people die. I think that's just a part of being a nice human being.
Depends on who you are.
If someone does die, you want to feel like you're respecting the person that they were.
I don't know. When my dad dies, I'm gonna be blessed, and we are Charlie Kirk, because the guy's a piece of shit. He left my mother fucking 5 months pregnant. His fucking asshole. So I'm not no fucking love lost there. You know.
While they were here, you get where I'm going with this. It just sort of happens that Brigitte Bardot was also a massive racist, and
how massive?
Everyone sort of missed that part. Here is the.
Well, it's probably because everybody was a massive racist back in the 60s. I don't know if you know this, but in the 60s, black people were not considered people, which is a bad thing. They should be considered people. And I think the only real reason we passed Civil Rights Act is because we looked like hypocrites going into the Vietnam War that we were lost, and not for freedoms, you know. Same reason why we went to Venezuela, guys. We got for freedoms and oil. Although I don't think they have oil in Vietnam, but I think they have a lot of drugs over there. Maybe drug infrastructure. I don't know. I watched American Gangster recently. I love that movie. Anyway, we're going to move on because we're just starting to go.
New York Times also posting Brigitte Bardot.
The point is the 1960s was very racist.
Bardot's legacy of racist rhetoric. You know, it's not good if it takes 7.5 minutes just to read the article about how racist this woman was. Uh-oh. And I know the word racist gets
Let's read it.
used a lot because a lot of things are racist. But I can't really overstate what we're dealing with here. I'm talking, she wrote a book about it, Levels of Racism, in which she, quote, wrote about issues such as racial mixing, immigration, the role of women in politics, and Islam.
That sounds, I don't know, maybe I'm just off the cuff here, but that sounds typical for 1960s, right?
BBC says in 2004, the book contained a section attacking what she called the mixing of genes and praised previous generations who
I try not to put my jeans in the washer with anything else. I don't want it to get stained, so yeah.
Said had given their lives to push out invaders.
Sounds like Charlie Kirk. I'm not trying to be an asshole. But that's what that motherfucker said. He said we're fucking getting rid of he's like the white race. We're getting rid of the white race. We got to be careful. We're race mixing. It's scary. He was one of those people that thought that the white race was under attack. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? Who cares about white people? I just care about people. I'm with nice asses specifically. If you don't have a nice ass, sorry, buddy. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I hope you have a nice cock and balls then. So she literally was Charlie Kirk. That's incredible. Rest in peace.
Rhetoric like that, I think it's pretty safe to say she was a white supremacist, actually.
Yeah, that's true.
But that wasn't enough for her, believe it or not. Like I said, if there was one thing Miss Bardot was about, it was the grind. And that's
here, I'm gonna give you a hot take. It's one thing to be racist, it's another thing to say racist, right? If you're sitting at home and you're like fucking, feeling frustrated and whatever, and you have some racist thoughts like she did, that's not good. But if you feel confident and comfortable to express those racist thoughts, that's next level, dude. That's next level. Then there's a little bit maybe of a hatred there. You felt the need to leverage your credibility as an individual against your racist claims. That's some fucking wild ass shit.
Same book. I need an ad blocker, man. What is going on? I have a new computer. If you see just a bunch of really intrusive ads, ignore them. I'm still trying to get stuff set up. Okay. Who is that? Is that Nikola Tesla? Oh my God. I Googled Tesla and it went through.
What the fuck is happening?
Bing. I really need to set this computer up. It is Tesla. What? Anyway, in the same book, Miss Bardot was saying homosexuals, quote, may have a more subtle taste and talent, but can degenerate into pedophiles who sprout like mushrooms.
That's fucking insane work, brother. You know what the most insane part? I'm gonna be so fucking real with you. What the most insane part about this is? It's the double standard, because so listen, just hear me out here. She's in the movie industry, right? The movie industry is what I call it is the boundaryless industry. It's a huge problem where you have adult actors and child actors all getting together, all going to parties that are inappropriate. So you have 15-year-olds going there. Couple that with the fact that there are a lot of disgusting people that think that 15-year-olds, this 15-year-old looked 19, like gross shit. And you put that into the movie industry, right? So I'm not going to doubt that there's some gay guys that are sleeping with 15-year-old boys, but it's not just gay guys. It's Donald Trump as well, right? Maybe. Some people, I would never say that, of course. I don't think it's true at all. I don't think he was best friends with a pedophile for 15 years at all. I don't think that that's true. But this is to me this. First of all, Hollywood is disgusting, and second of all, this is a double standard. It's actually people, but in this instance, it's men being disgusting and justifying sleeping with 15-year-olds because they looked. Well, she looked 16. He looked 16. Right? That's what it is. That's just what you did back then. It's not appropriate, and you shouldn't brush it off like that. But she's only applying it to gay men. That's the bigger problem. And she was probably, I'm not trying to be an asshole. If she was in Hollywood since she was young, if she was a child, she probably was molested by a guy, right? So I'm not trying to be fucking I'm just saying that this is a Hollywood issue, not a gay issue, and probably more of a man issue, frankly, than a woman issue. If we're being fucking real here, men are gross.
Later in her life, she also called many of the actresses who were speaking up during the Me Too movement, hypocritical. She added that...
See, I'm telling you, she probably got molested as a young person And she probably is like has, I don't know if it's survivor bias is the correct thing to call it in this instance, but she has like something where like she needs to cope. Like what happened to her was like her fault. She needs to take agency over it herself, because if she can control it, then it's not actually a trauma, guys. If I chose this, so it's not trauma. I'm just assuming here, but I feel like that's a reasonable assumption.
The actresses campaigning against sexual harassment in the entertainment industry are of no interest. This issue takes the place of important topics that could be discussed. She
Like what?
argued. I wonder what those important issues like what?
Like cigarettes and beer. Fuck it. Having a cigarette when you're drunk is amazing. Frankly, the cigarette industry needs to kind of move away from like you guys sort of move away. Stop trying to get lifelongers. Just design cigarettes that you're meant to have with a beer. You know what I mean? Hey, you want to smoke cigarettes? You know what? Just have it with a beer. You don't need to smoke every day. But if you drink every day, then you could smoke every day, because it doesn't count. It doesn't count. Right? Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm sorry. I'm just being fucking stupid.
Race mixing? I don't know why Associated Press is talking about Me Too instead of those darn blacks, you know?
Whoa!
It's not funny. It's not funny. I mean, it's kind of funny because she's dead. But anyway,
Whoa.
I had no idea. That's the point I'm getting at here. I didn't know. I don't really think most people my age knew about the racism aspect.
No, I don't think so either. I don't think that people understood that she was a big racist person, probably. That might have been like, she probably said those things and then like retract. Well, I guess she didn't retract from them, but I mean, she's talking about Me Too. That was somewhat recent. So, but I don't think most people looked at her for those things. They're probably like, oh, she was a great actress and she was hot and she liked animals, you know, typical girl shit. Am I right?
I just thought she was blonde, honestly. Chaperone, Odessa Azion, and other Gen Z stars learned Brigitte Bardot was problematic. So Stereo Gum,
Like imagine instead of a 6-pack, you had a 3-pack and each. You guys, okay, listen, I know I'm going off on this, but like think about this. This is what we need to do. Right? Write this down, cigarette companies. Capri Sun. What is a Capri Sun? I gave you a second to think for an answer. It's a juice box with a straw. What if we made something called a Capri Fun? It's a can of beer and a cigarette. Or maybe it's a can of a pretty strong but very flavorful sangria and a cigarette. I mean, let's be fucking real. That's even better. Menthol cigarette and a sangria. Wild. Something to think about. It's something to think about. You know? Something to think about.
captured this like mini trend of young
The cigarette's the straw in this. I'm talking about 2 cigarettes too much. I'm sorry.
celebrities
I'm being crazy.
posting tributes to Brigitte Bardot and then instantly getting schooled by their audiences about, you know, the obvious, and then having to take it back. So Chapel saying she was my inspiration, rest in peace. And then
An adult Lunchable, yeah. Cigarette and cup of coffee, that's a breakfast.
very quickly being like, oh, I did not know all of that insane stuff she stood for. I do not condone this. Very disappointing. Other celebrities like Odessa saying, okie dokie, learning a lot about Brigitte Bardot. I ain't know she was like all that. Apple Martin, daughter of Gwyneth Paltrow
Who the fuck is Apple Martin?
and Coldplay's Chris Martin. I'm very glad that they put that there because I was like, who? I'm not even calling Apple irrelevant. I'm just saying there are so many.
I am. I don't know who the fuck that is. Apple? What an asshole. That person, whoever named that person is an asshole.
Many celebrities at this point. How can I be reasonably expected to keep them all in short-term memory? Actually, that would be my long-term memory. But do I look like a neuroscientist to you? It's funny. This article points out that Jennifer Aniston, who's definitely not in my age range, said "Rip Legend" and did not retract anything. But listen.
Yeah, because like you don't really have to. I feel like it's one of those. And again, I know we're doing a lot of Charlie Kirk, but like Charlie Kirk is known for pushing race narratives. Like he's known for speaking poorly of Martin Luther King. He's known for saying that we never should have had the Civil Rights Act on some kind of bullshit. Like, well, I just think DEI is out of control, so we never should have had civil rights. Shut the fuck up. He's known for being like, I saw a black woman pilot and I was scared because they're probably not qualified. He's known for saying he would abuse his daughter if she was raped and force her to carry the term, which is literal religious psychosis, right? Bridget isn't known for those things. People know she said them, which is bad, but like she didn't build a career on that. She built a career on like acting, right? So, you know, you can draw the fundamentals of her and be like, okay, that's not what I got out of her. She didn't, you know, that wasn't the biggest part of her. So it is a little bit different. So I don't think you necessarily have to decide to be like, oh, you know, I'm going to reject that part of her. you could just be like, oh, that's not good. And you could still be like, oh, rest in peace. You know what I mean? This is a little bit different personally. So plus, yeah, she was a sex symbol. And we all know that women that are attractive don't have to be smart. So you could just, oh, dumb blonde. That's why that's where they originated the dumb blonde meme was from her. She was racist. So they just called her a dumb blonde. Everybody was super not racist back then. So they were like, no, you're wrong. You know,
Point blank. I don't think Jennifer Aniston is racist because of this. I don't know anything about her, actually.
Well, you never watched Friends?
Chappell Roan was definitely not racist. Okay, none of Apple Martin, who I now know and will struggle to keep in my long-term memory, was not racist because she said rest in peace to a film star. These people were in entertainment. Okay, they reacted normally. Normal. I keep using the word normal because I want to stress that the reaction that they were met with was very abnormal. So here's the thing. I could go to TikTok and Reddit and just pull up the threads of everyone making me
hey, yo, I pull up.
Want to give up my literacy in exchange for, I don't know, a taco. But you can actually find a microcosm of what I'm talking about in the very comments.
Chappell Roan looks weird as hell, brother. God bless her, dude. God bless her.
About Chappell and Apple. They should start a band. Chappell and Apple. I'll take 50% royalties, obviously. This is like a miniature version of what was happening online. Bardot's extremist statements have been highly publicized for the last 20 years.
I never knew that.
Even if these young women are subliterate and didn't Apple attend top tier schools, they should have heard about it. Makes me wonder
who the fuck is teaching about Brigitte Bardot in school? What the fuck? That sounds like the wrong thing to learn.
What else they didn't know about. This is what I meant when I said that a lot of y'all are dumb. I don't think I would have used that.
Well, I don't think that that's a commentary viewer though. That's like that's a writer of a paper that's trying to put out a sensationalized piece so that they can try to virtue signal for attention, and that's a bigger issue. Or at least it used to be. It probably really still is that people, and this is especially true of people who will get very popular or very positive attention from calling out someone bad. Is that they'll do it once, and I don't even know who the fuck that person was, but they'll do it once, they'll get popularity, and now they're trying to manufacture like another scenario, right? And so the scenario being manufactured here is like, oh, you should have known about Brigitte Bardot. The fact that you don't is actually your fault. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like that's insane. You're trying to create, you're shadowboxing. You're trying to create an enemy. That's what you're doing.
That exact verbiage in 2025 or 2024 because I had to do some self-reflection. I didn't want to piss people off. I didn't want to scare people. I didn't want people to think that I thought I was, I don't know, more important than I am. But I don't think I'm wrong. And you see, I can move my mic arm now. This is dangerous because I'm using it for emphasis. I don't think I'm wrong in saying this is stupid.
Yeah, but that's not really a reflection of commentary viewers. Unless I guess you're saying that they're only making that piece because commentary viewers listen to it.
Comments is stupid. The fact that it is upvoted is stupid. Even if your thesis is that they should have looked into her a little bit before memorializing her, that is fine. That is criticism. There's nothing wrong with saying that. I don't necessarily agree.
What are you supposed to do every time someone dies? Look into their controversies?
That them looking her up would have done much.
It's also kind of goes against social norms to focus on somebody's controversies like once somebody dies, you know?
Because again, like you would have to read her entire Wikipedia to see this. Like literally all it says at the top is that she retired, she was an activist, etc., etc. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Hold on. I missed this. She was fined twice for public insults and 5 times for inciting racial hatred. Whoa! For her criticism of Muslims in France and calling residents of Réunion savages. Okay.
Whoa, what the fuck?
Hey, so see, you don't actually have to scroll very far. That was an example of me obtaining new information and changing my opinion in real time. Something I'm going to be real big on in 2026. That being said,
is that not something that you were big on before? What the fuck?
I still don't I don't blame anybody for
yeah, I don't either.
Hitting this wall of text and not getting all the way down here and realizing what was going on here. The paragraph starts off by saying she became an animal rights activist for the love of God. And it ends by saying she was a member of the Roll of Honor of the United Nations Environment Program. Who
UN racist too? What?
Was expecting this awesome sandwich to be filled with racial hatred of all things. I'm sure all the celebrities involved will be a little more careful
You think that he'll be gone by April? Is that how it works? You take 6 months off?
about just blindly, I guess, idolizing people. But again, I'm not going
What a crazy life to like work for like a month and then like, I can't handle this anymore, and you disappear.
to sit here on YouTube and validate
It's one of those things too where like you could probably push through it and like exist, but he doesn't have to, which is fine. Like, you know, don't do your thing about it. It's just like, it's interesting.
what I still think is a ridiculous comment. Even if these women, these young women are subliterate, they should have heard about it. This is dumb. This doesn't make any sense. How should they have heard about it? Brigitte Bardot is older than God, okay? The racism book that she wrote in 2003, I think, it is older than Apple. Apple Martin. It's older than Apple Martin. Apple, the brand, is older than Apple.
Did you get paid by Apple, Martin? Like, I don't know who the fuck this person is. I feel like they're not really that relevant to anyone's conversation, and we've been talking about them from the fucking start. Who the fuck is Apple Martin? Who gives a shit who the fuck Apple Martin is?
Apple, the person. Founded in 1976, and Bardot retired in 73. That's odd. All I'm saying is I never saw Brigitte Bardot and Steve Jobs in the same room. But yeah, somebody's like, they didn't know and now they do, and they issued corrective statements. I'm not sure what any productive objective for continuing to hold it against them would be. I mean, comments like, if you post a tribute to someone, do a little digging first. That's not a dumb comment. Comments like, adult.
I think it's a dumb comment. Like, why do I have to do digging on somebody who died? You know what I mean? Like, old people are fucking racist. I don't think you have to do some digging on it, especially if they're not like known for that. Like, that's not her flagship, isn't being racist. It's part of her, which is fucking crazy, but I don't think you have to go like I don't think that when somebody dies, the first thing you have to do is go like look up the fucking Epstein's list. You know what I mean? Although maybe, who knows? I'm just saying.
Women discover knowledge. They're dopes. As for Brigitte Bardot, she was both a racist and xenophobe and a passionate defender of animal rights. I can decry the former and admire the latter. Nuance. We can do it. Nuance. We can do it. Logging off. Can you do that? Can you do that? You're not a dope because you didn't know something. You're not a dope for not knowing everything.
Yes, you are.
Nobody knows everything. And also, I promise you, many of the people who are criticizing these celebrities also did not know anything about Brigitte Bardot. Like, be so for real right now. I'm not saying no one knew, clearly.
Well, no, they probably didn't know anything about it. They probably saw she died, started looking, either saw the controversy from someone else or started looking on Wikipedia. And then when they found it out, they felt they're like, oh, you didn't acknowledge this thing? I'm morally virtuous and I'm better than you, and I'm going to shame you. That's probably the energy.
It was known when it was on Wikipedia, okay? But even for those who did know beforehand, I think approaching things with just this really nasty mindset of like, well, I am clearly a better person than you.
Yeah, that's what their objective is to be.
Because I have the right opinion about this thing and you don't. That's
a YouTuber.
Dumb. That is just, it doesn't make any sense. And I genuinely don't understand what these people wanted from these celebrities beforehand.
They want to morally masturbate.
I feel like those same people would watch this video, hear what I'm saying right now, and interpret it as, wow, D'Angelo is defending celebrities blindly for not doing research.
I don't think anybody would do that. I don't think that we're in the space where people would actually have that opinion right now. That was more of like a 2020 space where you might have that. Right now, with like the culture dominated by conservative dog shit, like you're not going to really get that type of virtue signal here. You'll get other virtue signals, but not that specific virtue signal, right? Like you'll get like the religious virtue signal, or like you see Nick Shirley over here with the iced coffee hour. I guess they love cum guzzling fucking, you know, weird dumb conservative freaks that lie constantly because nobody actually is required to watch content anymore. That's a virtue. Oh, like, what about there's fraud? There's fraud. There's fraud. You know, our president literally like pardons fraudsters. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. He doesn't care about fraud. This guy is like how much money has he gotten this year? 3 million from crypto. I know I keep saying this, but I mean, it's worth repeating. Like, he has his ballroom, which is obviously all donations from who? Big businesses. So for what reason? Probably so that they can get fucking special deals. He dropped tariffs on this, like, what is it, Switzerland from 39% to 15% because they gave him a watch. He's talking about pardoning Netanyahu because Netanyahu gave him the magical Israel fucking peace prize or whatever. Take this, you know what I mean? Like, we don't care about fraud in America, and he didn't uncover anything. Literally, this stupid motherfucker didn't uncover a goddamn thing. He went his own. Oh, dude, I'm just crashing out. His own video showed town hall meetings with literal governmental representatives talking about the fraud and what they were going to do about it. I uncovered fraud. No, you didn't.
If that's what you got from that, go knock yourself out, I guess. Literally. I don't care what method you use. I just don't want to hear from you anymore. And it's like, These are vulture comments. So this is kind of unserious in general, but this is
I feel like the name vulture implies that they're gonna be dog shit, right?
exactly how people were being at people's comment sections on Reddit, TikTok, etc. And it's just like so loud now because I feel like this kind of thing did not used to get upvoted. Or I shouldn't say I feel like, I'm using couching language. I was there. This kind of thing did not used to get pushed to the top of everybody's comment feeds. These were fringe opinions that were obviously wrong.
I feel like that's not true at all. It's fucking outrage bait. It's all outrage bait. That's what things have been for how long? Of course it's going to get pushed to the top. This has been the way the culture has been for a while. Just because something gets pushed to the top doesn't even mean that people agree with it. It just means that they're outrage farming. And I feel like outrage farming has been relatively popular for a while.
Wrong, held by people whose like moral superiority is not justifiable and is not rooted in reality, and somehow that unreality has become the dominant voice. And
so this person is non-binary but uses he him. Okay, incredible stuff. It's interesting that I have fucking crossover with D'Angelo Wallace. What kind of a creator am I? Like, what a weird freak I am. I'm a weirdo. Like, I fucking crossover with D'Angelo Wallace, with fucking Hassan Parker, Diesel Patches in the chat. What the hell's happening, dude? What the fuck is happening, dude? Obviously, I have to get my shit together and like, what am I doing? Where's my direction in life? Oh my God.
In comment sections. And one thing that I want to make clear, here's some nuance for you. It's not everybody on Reddit, obviously. Highly upvoted comment saying
it's only 418 upvotes. This is, nobody actually believes this. Most people aren't even online, you know?
This is backlash.
Well, they are online, but you understand what I'm saying.
From people who Googled Brigitte Bardot politics 5 seconds ago. But yeah, the people I'm talking about are not.
But that is true. Those people just looked it up and they're like, oh my God, that's bad. Look at you, you're bad.
Not just in the vulture comments. They're not just on Reddit or TikTok. They're in my audience. Now, let me
of course
tell you this. As I said, I've been grinding a while myself. It is not the majority of my audience.
I do be grinding on that shit.
I'm not making a video like, oh my gosh,
I'd be grinding.
I hate the average D'Angelo viewer. I don't hate anybody, okay? But
I hate a lot of people.
I grew a lot in 2024.
You know what I hate the most? That triggers the fuck out of me. This triggered the fuck out of me, okay? It's like not really Nick Shirley related, but it kind of is. I do this thing called I post clips on my fucking short. Like, who the fuck knows? I literally don't shut the fuck up about how many clips I post. Or like every time I watch a creator that I like, I'll be like, you should be doing short form content, you know? Or some people I don't like, right? And I've said it about like Casey Tron and Frogan and to them too, but like even Willie Mack before. And but it triggers the fuck out of me to no end when people are like, why are you talking about this person so much? I have like fucking 8, like I didn't post 8 clips yet, but I have a bunch of clips from the video. What the I talked about him one time. And then I made clips about the video and put it up there. And you're like, why are you talking about me so much? And this is why it triggers me more than anything else. Let me just show you. It's like, if you look at this one, I posted 3 like Nick Shirley clips yesterday or whatever. This is what, like, look at it. It has in every video, this is the title here. After the first 4 seconds, okay, here's the title. It's the same title. This is it. This is the you know what I mean? It's like, I'm not, it's just, you're dumb. You guys are so dumb. Like, you can be more media illiterate when you consume content. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, why do you have so many videos about this? I don't know. Maybe because they're clips. Did you watch all of them? Check out the outro. Whoa! Got him. Owned libs. Oh wow! What the fuck is this? Oh, it's the plug for the video. So that triggers the fuck out of me. Those people are stupid, but they're not real Poppycook fans, because if they were, they'd be intelligent. Incredible stuff.
Okay, I was posting videos honestly for many strangers, which is always part of the job. But when that crowd of strangers,
I used to post videos for strangers too. They pay me some money, you know what I mean?
The vocal minority is chock full of the worst people you know commenting on videos. I guess I shouldn't be surprised that I had a mini disaster in 2024. I keep wanting to say last year because 2024 feels like last year to me, but unfortunately the inexorable march of times.
Yeah, we're gonna, the end of this month will be the end of the year for me. My wife and I, like, we've been so busy the last year, I guess this year, that like it's not ending until the end of this month. We're going to Lake Placid, so hopefully things tone down after that.
Slows for no man. I made a video about Starbucks. Did some of y'all just have flashbacks? I mean, yep, that's me.
What the hell? Is that a wig? That was you yesterday?
Yeah, okay, yeah, if you're new, you're like, whoa, is that
I was doing that. That's crazy.
real? Yeah.
What the That's like weird. That's funny because like I actually literally, I knew it was real, but I was memeing, so it was kind of funny.
was real hair. It was on my head
It's
every
real
day.
hair?
My video was about fast food in general. I talked about Burger King,
Oh, I'm having Burger King tonight.
Subway,
Oh,
just
yeah.
fast food prices going up and like surge pricing and all kinds of things people were doing. And
It's really true. Fast food prices are going up. We're at a point now where it's actually very interesting, because back in the day, I feel like you'd pay more to go to a sit down restaurant. You're going in there and you're going down to sit, and like, yeah, they're serving you the food and there is a convenience associated with it. But like, you get to sit down, and that's the convenience. It's like, I'm going there and they're making my food and they're serving it to me, and I'm a queen and a king, and and then fast food was relatively inexpensive. It was, you go, you get your food, and you're out. Now fast food, like the convenience that, like, really my generation and lower, but a lot of generations like, is the convenience of getting something with very little social interaction and leaving. And so now I think fast food is more expensive than like Chili's. Like, you're going to get a better deal, even if it's the same price, going to Applebee's or Chili's and sitting down and eating, than you are going to McDonald's. Because nowadays, what convenience means to people is different. Convenience nowadays is get it, go home, and lack of social interaction. A lot of people don't want to socially interact. Convenience back then is like social interaction that's catered to you. You want to talk to a waiter or a waitress who's going to treat you like you actually matter, right? Because you probably married somebody who hates you. That's just how things were back then. And so you're going, like, it was a different experience. So it's interesting. But if you actually, like, if you're willing to sit down in a restaurant for like a half an hour to an hour, like, yeah, you can go there and get a better deal. They have like lunch deals that are fantastic. Just keep that in mind.
how that was leading to fast food's decline. This was also coinciding with a boycott against Starbucks. Multiple boycotts, actually. But a pretty major one
Well, yeah, because they're fucking assholes and don't pay their people well enough.
was people were boycotting Starbucks in the name of solidarity with people in Palestine. Infamously, in this
Oh, is that part of it too? Wow.
video, because I was just talking about fast food prices, I did not include the sentence, and also there is a boycott which is affecting Starbucks' bottom line. In retrospect,
What?
that wasn't a good idea. And that is why, you can see the hair is real now, there's no hat. I had to make an update video in which I said, I obviously don't support genocide, ethnic cleansing. I'm not secretly a Zionist. I'm not doing deep cover work for Starbucks. I just thought it would actually, I thought what
I'm more interested in, like, they should be paying their workers better. That sounds shitty, but like, I'm more interested in like local politics, I guess. But it's not good what's happening in Palestine.
would come across badly is if I was like, oh, and also people are boycotting
Oh, it wasn't on the BDS. I thought that it was on the BDS list.
because of this really, really serious issue. But that's just like a talking point in a video where I'm making all these jokes and dunking on
It's not on the official boycott, divestment sanctions movement. I don't think it was on the BDS list. Lawsuit against pro-Palestine. Oh, it faces widespread boycotts due to its lawsuit against pro-Palestine workers. Union Starbucks Workers United and perceived support for Israel, leading to significant financial impact. Was it really ever? Why does they have a perceived pro-Israel stance? The company's actions against its union, alongside Howard Schultz, who has publicly supported Israel. Oh, that's why, because the owner supported Israel. Okay, I wonder what that means. Because like, if you're supporting Israel because you think it has the right to exist, it's fine. But if you're supporting Israel's occupation of Gaza, and the West Bank, well, occupation of the West Bank, and like, basically to some extent, like an open air prison of Gaza, I think that's bad. But okay.
all these fast food companies. But if people just wanted to hear my general opinions, yes, it's that I'm in support of people. People first. I don't do politics first. I do people first. Meaning
you're not doing yourself a favor by saying something like that. You can't be people first and not politics first, because like, politics are literally an expression of people. Like, especially right now, things are so insane, especially coming from the right. I mean, like, what is politics right now? Healthcare for everybody? That's for the people. Non-support of like, really, this is part of it. Non-support of like the Israeli government specifically oppressing people in Gaza. That's people support. Better. You know what I mean? Like, it's just weird to me when people don't know what politics is. I guess like, you can't be like, oh, I'm people first, not politics first. Politics is people first. Like, politics, that is what it is. That is the whole point. Politics is like our government. I understand people are upset and frustrated with how it works. The government is quite literally people, and what we are going to do to those people. What are we going to provide our people? So I don't like it when people say that. It comes off as like virtue signaling to me, honestly. Just in like a little bit.
The politics come later. Therefore, I say people should not be displaced from their homes.
But that's politics, right? Like, that's a political conversation, because you have an administration who's putting out AI Twitter slop of us like knocking down Gaza and putting up hotels. Somebody who's talking about pardoning Netanyahu for his war crimes. I mean, like, So like again, like you're kind of off the mark with this one.
Therefore, I'm completely against Israel's genocide against the Palestinian people. Okay. And it's interesting to think that if I had included that at the time, I would not have dealt with the massive backlash I got, because it was pretty massive. People were
What's your point? You didn't speak carefully enough? Like, what is the point of what you're saying here?
calling me a genocide supporter, you know what I mean? Just saying all these things about me that they're not rooted in reality, and they're also not warranted from my decision. You know what I mean?
I don't. What is he? I'm going to rewatch this. Hold on. All right. I understand what he's saying now. His video was just about, it's just called Starbucks kind of crashing out and burning right now. And it seemed to just be, about Starbucks and how they're charging a lot. But I guess since he posted this during, you know, more of the height of the conversation about Palestine, he got pushback of like, hey, why aren't you talking about this? Yeah, this is going to hurt him right here, because I just decided to look this up. I decided to transfer this video. He brings up the genocide though.
Each other and stand off federal labor law by withholding pay hikes from unionized workers. Starbucks workers unions sue each other and stand off over pro-Palestinian social media posts.
I feel like this is somebody who does like a lot of like left-wing activism, which is fine. That's nothing wrong with that. And then you reference Starbucks in a video. Then you reference the conversation about Palestine in here. And then you don't go into specifics. That just seems like you fucked up. It just seems like you fucked up. Like, that's on you. That one's on you. You kind of fucked that up. Like, you can't talk. It's hard to talk about. I mean, it's fine to talk about Starbucks and you want to ignore that. That's fine. But if you're going to bring up the lawsuit, talk about it. Especially since like you're not just like some fucking regular guy making content. You know, you're somebody who's been like very historically actively like left wing and socially conscious, which is, again, that's not a bad thing. So it does seem kind of strange to me. It seems like you're reframing what actually happened a year later. But okay.
Disagreeing with my choice to not include that information in the video is fine. Just as I said, it's totally okay to be like, hey, I think these celebrities should have done Google a little harder. You're free to criticize me. Always, you know? I think what was just
rolling your eyes.
Crazy is like, that was my first time being called a horrible human being. Because
who called you a horrible human being? What are you talking about?
Because I made what was ultimately a mistake in communication. And here's the thing,
well, it wasn't a mistake in communication. You just didn't talk about it.
But
this is just so weird to me. Like, you just didn't talk about it. And like, just be like, yeah, I should have talked about it. I didn't want to get into it because it's really heavy and loaded and it was like a lot for me. Who's calling you a bad person? I guess I wish he would show us what he's referring to. But
update video about it was only 2 minutes long. I got in, said what I had to say, and got out. I only spent 2 minutes talking about this online, but I thought about it every single minute of what felt like every single minute of every single day for over a year. It just kept living in my head, rent free, as they say. I was like, how could I have done that?
You've done what? I'm so confused what's happening here.
How could I have done something so stupid? that was the main thing that was just in my head the whole time, was like refusing to believe that I could be that bad.
You have like a mental health problem. Sorry. Is this why he keeps disappearing? You made a video about Starbucks. You referenced the genocide without going into specifics, despite the fact that you're a left-leaning creator that's usually very socially conscious. You got some backlash, which didn't seem toxic, really, beyond what I would expect from the online. That's just online, dude. Like, anytime I fucking criticize the Trump administration, I get called fat and Jewish. I don't know what to tell you. True? I don't know. People are mean online, so I don't care that people were toxic to you, because it's just how it is. And then after you got then you got feedback, so you made like a 2-minute video talking about it, and then you perseverated on the negative thought that you fucked up for a long time. I mean, you just have to have a better interaction with yourself. What I don't know what else to say, like, toughen up. I don't know. Learn from your mistake. What?
At making videos, there's like saying something that people misinterpret, and then there's like, through a video I uploaded, I've got people in here calling me a Zionist. And
what did he say? It just triggers the fuck out of me that this guy I want to watch this 2-minute video and see what he's talking about. But he has his fucking head covering it. Is this intentional? What is happening? Oh, it's called Please Stop, apparently. Okay. All right, let's see why people are calling you a Zionist.
I don't support genocide. I don't support ethnic cleansing, and I don't support the country of Israel's invasion of the Gaza Strip. People in my comments are saying I support these things because I made a video about Starbucks, and I did not mention people's ongoing efforts to boycott Starbucks as a show of solidarity for Palestine. Whenever I outline a video, I frame my research through finding a main point. This time, my main point was seeing how recent backlash against Starbucks and its CEO illustrate larger problems within the fast food industry, specifically the increase in prices and the mobile order first mentality that's negatively affecting the atmosphere of these establishments. Both these prices and the atmosphere are real issues that are having an impact on sales, and that is what I set out to explore in my video. People boycotting Starbucks to support Palestine is also having an effect on sales, but that was not the main point I was trying to make, and I wasn't going to.
Well, okay, but you're not doing a 5-second video. You did like a half an hour long video. Like, you could have talked about it a little bit more.
Use that boycott as a supporting argument for my very lighthearted video about people's frustration with fast food trends. That did not feel appropriate to me at the time. Please don't.
Okay, you could just been like, yeah, you should just reference it, and that said, I don't want to get into the specifics of it because it's very loaded, but that absolutely is like an impact on there, and then like, I support Gaza. Boom, you're done. You know, give it more consideration than, because what the problem here, this is something, I don't know if he even understands what he's doing right now. What he's doing here right now is he's admitting to people that he gave it a lot of thought and decided to not leave it in the video. And now it just gets significantly worse, right? Originally, it was like, oh, I forgot to talk about it. That's what I assumed. But now it's like, yeah, I made an active decision not to go into specifics about what was going on in Israel-Palestine, or even really reference it in an indirect way, or more, I would say, correctly. Does that make sense? More meaningful, give it more consideration, more productive way. That's probably how I would say it. Right? So you could, like, again, you could have said something about it. So this is the problem. It's like every time you talk more about it, you make yourself look worse. Now you're telling everybody you actively decided not to talk about it. That sounds really bad. Like, you could have just said, this is also impacting it. I don't support the genocide in Gaza. I don't want to get into the specifics of it, though. It's a very loaded topic, and I don't feel like I'm qualified to talk about it. That's perfect. That's honest. It's meaningful. But now you're like, no, I just decided not to talk about it. Why? you're somebody who, and maybe I'm wrong, but you just need like somebody who represents, general social issues and conversations. So I don't understand.
Don't ascribe such extreme intentions to something that I ultimately did to try to keep the video focused. But I did make that decision, and the consequences appear to be confusion or curiosity over my beliefs, so it is very important to me to reiterate them. I don't support genocide, I don't support ethnic cleansing, I don't support the country of Israel's invasion of the Gaza Strip. These are the main things I see people accusing me of, and so I hope this could provide some clarity. This clarification isn't something I owe everyone anytime I don't mention something deeply serious in a video. My decision to talk about unserious things on my platform
Well, you're deciding to do it, so
sometimes doesn't really say anything about my views about very serious things, or my tendency to talk about them should I choose to do so.
It does. It kind of does. It just does. I mean, if you're doing somebody that does socially aware content and you decide not to talk about a socially relevant topic, it does kind of communicate something. And it's within the vicinity of a lie by omission, right? Like, it's what it is, a lying by omission. You're not bringing something up. I mean, like, and you want to stay away from it. I get it, but like, you're not correct about the way that you're interacting with this criticism. I'm just letting you know.
It's very jarring to be called a disgusting, disappointing, terrible human being because I made the decision to leave something out of a video. But that jarring feeling is
you're simplifying it very much. I'm not trying to be an asshole. You're being a baby about it.
Nothing compared to the discomfort of being displaced from your own home. So I appreciate the privileges I have, and I appreciate you for giving me your time. And there is truly no simpler way to sum up my real beliefs than to just say free Palestine. That is all. And I
don't know how genuine I felt that was, but I had a 2-speed, whatever. I don't know why he's still coping on this from a year later.
I did not want to spend any time online feeling sorry for myself. That's why that's the only video where I addressed it. I did not keep bringing it up. I did not make it a thing. I think that would have been horrible. Ultimately, your sympathy should be with the
This made him leave YouTube for a year. This is kind of pathetic.
People who are undergoing this displacement. But most did not keep bringing it up. I did not make it a thing. I think that would have been horrible. Ultimately, your sympathy should be with the people who are undergoing this displacement. But
sure,
multiple things can be true. I was still traumatized. Just because it was like...
Traumatized by what?
Like a completely separate, absolutely lesser, thing than is going on in other places where things actually matter, because nothing on YouTube really matters. I still personally and privately dealt with just feeling very traumatized from the reaction to the video I posted. Because
I can't do this. This is fucking, like, I don't like hating people or disliking people, but I dislike this person. This is weak. This is pathetic. This is fucking pathetic. I don't understand. Just to be clear of what's happening, he left for a year because he made a video about Starbucks and how they were failing as a business, right? Okay, fair. And in there, he lightly referenced Israel-Palestine, but didn't get into it enough for his audience. Okay, you're a socially aware content creator. You probably should have gotten into it a little bit more, even if what you said was like, this was a factor. What's happening in Gaza is disgusting. It's a genocide, but I don't want to get into the specifics because I don't feel like maybe I'm qualified. Something like that. That's fine. You could be meaningful. So then afterward, instead of just being quiet when you got a little bit of pushback, which was stupid, everybody online gets pushback. People tell me to take my little knife every day. I don't care. You're a creator. It's just what happens. People are mean. They say mean comments. Turn the computer off. Because of the pushback, you make a 2-minute video, and in that video you say it wasn't just like a mistake to leave it out. You actively and intentionally decided not to talk about Israel-Palestine. So now you're telling us that it was a meaningful decision to stay out of it as socially aware content creator. Like if you were Papa John making a video, I wouldn't expect you to talk about it. But you're D'Angelo Wallace, the person who that's like your whole thing is to be socially aware. And now you're telling us that you were traumatized by mean comments about Israel-Palestine? What are you, Ethan Klein? No, I'm just kidding. What are you doing? Like, that is so weak. Traumatized? So you left for a year. It's one thing you wanted to leave for a year because you're rich and you're like, you know what? I don't need to deal with it. But you were traumatized? Just throwing words around. This is what happens when you get popular on the internet when you're a kid. What was he, 19 when he got popular? Come on. Grow up. It just looks weak. You know, it's like you dealt with the situation as poorly as possible. That's what you did. You didn't just like, it's a little rough. You just dealt with it as poorly as possible on purpose. That's what I'm seeing. That's how I interact with this video. And not to be an asshole, but additionally, this is the individual. I think they're non-binary. This is the individual who like disappeared during the height of like Andrew Tate sphere when he was a big piece of shit, and then he came back once he was a lolcow because we all were like, yeah, this is a sex trafficking rapist. That's what Andrew Tate is. And he came back and is like, hey guys, here's why Andrew Tate's bad. It's like you disappear when things get tough, and then you come back and you're like, hey guys, I'm back and I have a smug attitude. It's a fucking asshole way to interact. I'm sorry, but that's just what I get out of this entire video. Commentary viewers have gotten really dumb because I'm traumatized from mean comments. That's the name of his fucking video. Get the fuck out of here. This is ridiculous. It's just fucking stupid as hell to me.
Because for a split second, I almost believed it. I think that's a really scary thing that people don't talk about online.
I don't care.
Is if you have hundreds of people saying something, you almost start believing like, oh.
I'm not a fucking pussy. You know what? Maybe I can't underestimate the Hassan Parker's audience. So true. So true.
Oh, I guess I am a terrible person.
I mean, listen, comments are upsetting, but like you're 28. You're not fucking 19 anymore. You should know by now that people are just annoying sometimes. Papa, not everyone can handle harassment if it's not good for their mental health. I don't see the issue with walking away. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that the issue is walking away. I just said it's one thing to walk away. He's saying he's fucking traumatized. Listen to what I'm fucking saying out of my fucking mouth. I'm not saying him taking a break is an issue. It's a little weak, but it's fine. The issue is he's saying he was fucking traumatized by it. Get the fuck out of here. You were fucking traumatized by mean comments online? Not real. I'm sorry, especially for a 28-year-old. This is somebody who's 28. When the fuck was COVID? 2020? Fucking 5 years ago? 6 years ago now, shit. But 5 years ago, you know what I mean? Like, you're 23, you're not 15 in high school. What, 15 in high, yeah, you're in high school. 15, I keep forgetting. You're not 15 in high school where like you're missing out a significant amount of your developmental growth. You're like an adult. You're a young adult. You're like a kid adult to me, but you're still 23, you know, or 20, whatever. Like, it's not the same thing. It's just like it's traumatized. It's fucking insane. It's a ridiculous way to interact, especially since you've been a creator for a long time and you talk about social topics. I don't know. Just like why is it bad for me to say that I have a higher expectation of people than on the fucking floor garbage dumpster perspectives? Like, God forbid, I don't want people to say that they were traumatized by YouTube comments. That's crazy to me. And I feel like that's disrespectful to real trauma. That's crazy. It's ridiculous to me. YouTube comment, turn the computer off and walk away, which you did. Traumatized. You were feeling upset by them, and since you're rich, you decided not to do anything. That's fine, but you're very disconnected from the average of society. Like, you don't have to struggle in the way that everyone else usually does.
And I've now revealed that. And all the work that I did.
Got that Erica Kirk stare.
It was like disappointing. It ended in disappointment now that people know the truth about me. I got so upset.
Okay.
And I'm upset now still thinking about it. But like, it's just because
log off. Give me a fucking break.
It's important to me. It's not because I feel sorry for myself.
You do? What?
It's not because I'm like,
I'm sorry, I'm traumatizing you.
No one should ever say anything mean to me on the internet. I put my name all over these videos. Okay? D'Angelo is on my birth certificate.
Okay.
D'Angelo Wallace is who I am. I've never just tried to be I guess, a hateful person. And so I had to honestly hide a massive portion of my reaction to that video. That's why that video is only 2 minutes long. All the parts where
I hear you, babe. Not everybody gets neurodivergent. Get out of here. Leave my community. Bro, like, I'm not dealing with neurodivergent dog shit either. I'm gonna like, for the first time in my life, I'm playing the card. I have diagnosed ADHD. I have OCD. I'm fucking dyslexic. I have Tourette's. What are you talking about? You guys, what are you talking about? I don't understand neurodivergent brains? Yes, I do. What are you talking about? I used to sit in fucking Spanish class and count literally every single word, every single letter of every single word that my Spanish teacher would say, to a point where it was distressing to me. I have to fucking lock the door 12 times every night, or else I feel significantly distressed. If I don't kiss my wife enough times, I think that she'll die. So what the fuck are you talking about? And to your credit, I don't talk about these things. But, like, what are you talking about? They don't talk about everybody hides behind, I'm neurodivergent. Shut up. Stop looking to victimize yourself. Life is distressing. It sucks. It's a distressing thing that happens. It's unfortunate. You know, there's multiple decisions I make every hour that feel like the world's going to end. It's weird and it's annoying, and it's something that you engage in, like, behavioral protocols to try to overcome, like an adult. That's what being an adult is. It's dealing with your shit. People in the past have these problems. They just didn't know what it was. So, like, yeah, I deal with stuff too. Everybody does. But I've engaged in, and you know what? I'm very fortunate because my wife is a behavioral therapist. So, like, maybe that's part of the reason why I have a more healthy interaction with my issues. But, like, Jesus fucking Christ, you know? That's what he is, victimizing himself. He said I have to stop getting one guide. Saying that you were traumatized from mean comments on YouTube is not real. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not going to change my perspective. That's it. That's all it is. I think that is a disproportionate perspective. Well, a rich kid online that's never had any meaningful struggles is talking about how they were traumatized by mean comments about Israel-Palestine. That's what I'm seeing. And I'm not resonating with the message. It's really nice to be a vulnerable person, but there's such thing as too much vulnerability. So that's what I'm saying.
it was about me, I sat with privately. I didn't want to
get a friend, you know?
Give the impression that something like, genocide, I was like, oh, well, this is about me now. And so I'm going to throw a tantrum and spend a lot of time calling the people who were calling me out, because I knew that that was going to come across wrong. But now that some time has passed and I don't feel like it's disrespectful for me to say this in any way, and most importantly, now that I've sat with my opinion to make sure that
why
that I'm right, I'm just going to go.
How did you make sure you were right?
Go ahead and say it. A lot of the people calling me out were stupid.
Okay, cool. Thanks for letting us know. Say it in the moment. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing?
Okay, it was just an incredibly stupid reaction to something that wasn't that big of a deal. You know?
If it wasn't that big of a deal, then why the fuck are you talking about it a year later? You're traumatized from something that wasn't that big of a deal? Okay. Very consistent messaging here.
No, that's obviously not a phrase I could have used immediately after getting called a genocide supporter. Now that some time has passed,
I guess he knows how Ethan Klein feels. I think they said that they use he's, whatever. There you go, guys. Ethan Klein's biggest supporter. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, dude?
Would like to kind of give you the other part of my reaction. I hated every minute of that. I hated how it was so unbalanced because,
bro, it was 2020 fucking, when was this happen? 2024? In 2024? All right, whatever. I just feel like, were tensions that high back then? I don't know.
In the time that everybody is saying all these things.
Yeah, people are going to call him out because he makes videos of calling people out. That's what it is. You're in the call out community, and then people are going to be more toxic to you. Like, you generated an audience that likes called outs, so they called you out. And you're like, why is this energy? You are why this energy is happening.
I can't be in the comment section talking about, well, no, actually, that's not what I meant. And hey, this isn't.
All right, so let's keep it a buck. You are in like the online kind of probably somewhat toxic, like catty call out community, and people did that to you when they did it to you when they felt it was warranted. Okay, my Instagram is full of people calling me big fat DEI fucking Jew boy. that I should take my own life. You want to know why? Because before the second, like after the first Trump administration, I focused on making a lot of joking content, and a lot of the jokes I made were fucking racist. And I don't mean racism. I think that they're funny, but a lot of people thought that they were real, and they were really taking that as I'm racist, and they liked it. They were racist. And so now I have to deal with the audience I created on Instagram. It's my fucking fault. Right? That's my fault. And in a little bit of my defense, I thought some people just thought jokes were fun, and they didn't really mean it in a real way. That's my ignorance, of course. But that's my fault. That's my fault. So Instagram is full of fucking freaks that cry every time I make a video. It is what it is. That's my fault. That's my fault. This is your fault. You created an audience, and now they're giving you an energy you put out into the atmosphere. People really need to understand that you are your own biggest problem. And that's a good thing, right? Because if it's your fault, you can fix it. That's the way I like to interact with life. So it's just like, I just don't have any sympathy for this. I mean, if you want to say like, well, Papa, you're not even close to as big as he is as a content creator. I disagree. I'm obese. That's fine. Maybe I would deal with it differently if I had more viewers. I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't, but maybe I would. Maybe that's your only argument. That's your only argument.
Consistent with any time I've ever talked about any sort of political issue. And did you watch the video? That was another thing too. I realized that the vast majority of people who were criticizing me hadn't watched the video. Or if they...
Which video? This 2-minute follow-up? Because that one was kind of weak.
They watched it in some sort of honestly impressive way where they were only perceiving it in 30-second chunks. And I noticed...
What does that mean?
This sort of 30-second approach to information getting worse and worse. And it was not just in my videos. I posted quite a few videos after the Starbucks incident because I was like, if I just stop posting right now, that's not gonna look good. So I was like, I'm just gonna keep trucking. I'm gonna keep posting videos. And yeah, I did keep noticing just little things I said, you know what I mean, turning into things that I don't think would have been a problem before.
Just ignore it.
Beforehand. And
that's how it works.
And it was not...
okay, I understand another thing that's happening to this person. This happens to like creator. I mean, it took them a longer time to get there, but like, yeah, there's this point for a creator where people start to like criticize you outside of your community and then inside of your community, and you don't feel as bulletproof as you used to feel. You're like, I've been saying these things and I haven't really gotten checked for what I've been saying. Now they're checking me for what I'm saying, and this is upsetting. What's happening? This is life. What do you want me to tell you, dude? You're like 28 years old now, okay?
Everyone in my comment section, it wasn't even most of the people in my comment section.
So then ignore it.
But it was some really loud people. And
so then just hide the comments. Who cares? What are we doing? I had mean YouTube comments. Hide that person from your channel. I do it all the time. I don't care. Who cares? If someone's being disrespectful, then fucking hide them from your fucking audience. Who gives a shit? Who fucking cares? It's your YouTube channel.
And the comment section is usually where I go to make sure that my perspective is coming across the right way and to see other perspectives. But
I truly wonder if this person has anybody in like the real world for them to like talk to in any meaningful capacity that's not like a content creator. There's no way that they would have been like, yeah, you should make this video. This video's like complaining.
When these other perspectives are saying things like, well, this is disappointing.
I could have swore he just said he was like 28 at the beginning of this video.
Well, this is awful. This is just sad. Wow, I expected better. It's like, what am I supposed to learn from that? Other than the fact that y'all are kind of watching some of these videos wrong. And I saw that in so many people's comment sections as well. It is all over the place now where I feel like everyone is just going off of vibes and just also what the comments underneath them are saying.
There's probably a level of truth to that. Like, I think that, and I don't do this with YouTube videos, but then again, I do this for work. For TikTok, though, people, and this is actually a habit I'm trying to get into, is not reading the comments until I finish a video. Like, comments are, for a lot of people, at least in short form content that I'm aware of, but are a part of the viewing experience. And as a creator, you should know this, but you probably do, is that you have control over priming metrics as a creator. So what is that? What is a priming metric? A priming metric, it basically, what priming is that like you get somebody ready for something, right? So when you do YouTube priming, that's going to be like usually 4 things. Depends on what your content strategy is. Thumbnails, titles, intro, which I do intros if you do them, and even clips. These are all priming metrics. These are things that you see first before you watch the video that prime you to have a certain opinion on the video. So if I'm making a video about something and I say they're a big smelly poopy fart, you're going in there with the idea that I think that they're a big smelly poopy fart. If you like me, you're going to already think that they're a big smelly poopy fart. And then I might use like an intro to present information to reinforce that this person's a big smelly poopy fart. And then I'm going to use a thumbnail to reinforce this. And then I'm going to choose clips of the best examples of when this person is being a big smelly poopy fart. And that's like a content strategy. That's the whole point. Some people also read comments. So like if you start watching a video and you start doing this while you're watching the video, and this is going to also have an impact on like the way that you're being primed. But this is out of the creator's control for the most part, unless you hide your stuff. And so like, yeah, people will read comments and it'll give them a particular opinion on the video. Yeah, of course. That's just the way it is. But this is one of the things, and I think creators need to do this. You need to start like, if you're, this is a well-educated person. I'm not. You should be already aware of these different things, and you need to start looking at people's behavior differently. Like, I don't even mean to be a dickhead. I don't look at comments, behaviors, and what they're saying as if they're people. I look at them as if they're behaviors, or at least I try to, and I try to understand. Or like if I get kickback on something, I'm like, why would they do this? Especially if it doesn't match what I feel like the video is communicating. I'm like, oh, maybe it was like a priming metric I use, because in my short form content, I have a title for my things that shows up first. So like the first thing you see is like, hey, this person's a big smelly poopy fart, but you like that person already. You're going to be outraged instantaneously, right? So like do that in a more productive way. I feel like, because this is not productive. The fact that you held on to this for a year and you're complaining about something that it doesn't matter, it's just ridiculous to me.
I guarantee you there is a large portion of people who will see a comment that says something like, oh, you said something homophobic in this video. And then somebody will come and be like, I can't believe that you would say...
Did you? What did you say in the video that would be homophobic?
Something homophobic in this video. That's really disappointing, because you present yourself... And it's like, what are you actually talking about?
What are they talking about? Show me.
You don't know who I am.
Who said you're homophobic? What did you say?
You didn't watch this video.
Which video? What's video are you referring to where there was like a homophobic thing being said?
You were literally just like, I saw this phrase before. I don't remember where I saw it. I might even be pulling this from a bad place that I shouldn't be repeating. But it was outrage tourism. you're just moving from one thing on the internet.
I feel like that's your content, no? Is that kind of your content? Like you've kind of accumulated an audience on that? Maybe I'm wrong.
To another that people are mad about, and you're not even staying long enough to understand what it is you're talking about.
What video did somebody say that you were being homophobic in? I'm curious.
And that coming from me, a guy who just makes standalone videos.
Like maybe he said something homophobic. I don't fucking know. Like, you never know. Just because you might be gay in some capacity doesn't mean that you can't be homophobic. What are we referring to?
It's about things that people are mad about online might sound kind of hypocritical, but it's just not. I'm talking about two different things. People who consume internet drama content get a lot of flack from like sanctimonious people. But it's just not. I'm talking about two different things. People who consume internet drama content get a lot of flack from like sanctimonious people. I've heard it the entire
drama content is sanctimonious content. That's like the essence. Most people. What? That's what most people.
If I had to say,
did he really just say that?
Not. I'm talking about two different things. People who consume internet drama content get a lot of flack from like sanctimonious people.
Yeah, because people who... Okay, this is like the least self-aware person I've ever seen in my life. So what you're saying to me is like you do internet drama content and like now they get flack from sanctimonious people. You are the sanctimonious person. What are you talking about?
I've heard it the entire...
Me too. Like criticize me. You can say, I'm not saying I'm not. I don't care. Like, I get it. Like I know I'm self-aware.
Entire time I've been posting like, oh, this is sad. Get a life. Why would anybody care like to watch a 45-minute video about a beauty influencer? Because people have hobbies, Bradley. Why do you know so much about, I don't know, Tim Tebow? Is that a footballer? I don't actually know much about sport. Why? It's not really weird. It's definitely not as weird as people make it sound when they're trying to dunk on people who enjoy commentary, drama, entertainment news, whatever you want to call it. Because
slop. Then again, that's what we do. But like that is the nature of it, is that we have conversations about people in like kind of a toxic way. Like, I even consider myself more of a normal person, and I think people like watching me because it's like, oh, this is like a normal guy talking about stuff. Even me, like, I mean, we're catty sometimes. Like, what do you want me to tell you? When I make stuff, like, this is the nature of it. And so, like, sometimes you get that energy back at you. You can't make catty content and then cry when your audience is catty and gives you that energy. Like, this is fucking 101.
Because I know the truth from my analytics. Baby, everybody loves drama. Drama is universal. You know what I mean? There's
Yeah, and it's toxic, and it's fine. I love it. But, like, what are you talking about?
nothing wrong with actually following a bunch of things that people are interested about or even mad about, making content, consuming content, and commenting on that.
I'm pretty much convinced at this point that this guy's not self-aware at all. I'm sorry, but
So that's not what this video is me saying. You know, you should stop being a commentary fan.
this is what we call having your cake and eating it too. Which people probably don't know what that means, but it just means literally having your cake, and you can't have your cake and eat it because you have it. If you eat it, you don't have it anymore, right? That's why they say that. I always get confused by that. You can't do drama slop and then want a calm audience. It's impossible. So use a little more self-awareness.
I sure hope it doesn't. Please keep watching the videos. This is for those people who watch and react to commentary dumb. It is not intelligent to always jump to the worst possible interpretation of every bit of information that you've been presented with, especially
Isn't that kind of what you're doing to them, potentially? You won't even show us why they called you homophobic. I'm curious.
when that information has not been presented in its entire context. And that's kind of like one of my main
Is he talking about clip farming on Reddit?
points, or one of the few things that I think sets my videos apart. You should always look at the whole situation. But remember when I said I knew why this was getting worse? It's literally because of TikTok. And
Sure.
listen, I am not one of those people who's like, oh my gosh, every new app that isn't the app that I like is the one that ruined everything. YouTube has in many ways made a lot of things worse for a lot of people. Facebook kind of ruined everything. Instagram ruined everything. But TikTok is ruining things in a new way that I'm kind of hip to. This is from just the other day from Business Insider. TikTok has dethroned YouTube and Instagram and become the top social app for news among young people.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's just fucking, the app is annoying though. There's so much fucking ads.
TikTok is a horrible format to consume your news in. Okay? I'm just gonna say it
That's not necessarily true. You don't really know what you're talking about.
like that. I'm just gonna put that out there.
It's not. So it depends on what it is. Like, there are decent news TikTokers that like do a good job. I'm going to show you one. Like, there is a way to engage with it positively and productively, but you have to do it in a way that's like honest. There's a lot of disinformation out there, right? And so if you're engaging with it in like a disinformation way, like, yeah, that's obviously a problem. But like, there can be very productive ways to engage with it. Like, I am like, this person I think is fantastic. They do like news stuff, right? The news girl, she's great. She's on TikTok. It's longer form commentary, right? This is 6 minutes long. This is 12 minutes long. You can still engage with it productively. It's very toxic to engage in news content when it's from unverified, untrusted sources of information that just say things without anything, which that is part of, I guess you could say, short form TikTok culture. But we've also seen that in long form capacities all over. Like, either your biggest podcasters like Candace Owens and Joe Rogan are full of that as well. So it's really not just the platform. You just have to verify things. You do need to do that because you also have people doing it on Facebook. Old people are getting psyoped by fucking idiot slap every day. So
Everything that TikTok sort of encourages you to do as a creator is kind of antithetical to making sure that you're presenting a complete nuanced take on
it depends on what the topic is.
whatever situation you're talking about. Now, that does not mean there's anything
Maybe
wrong with using the app itself, obviously. If like you're on TikTok and you see, people are mad because McDonald's started releasing peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and then you independently kind of look into that yourself, and
that's what you have to do, is like, you have to independently look into it. But that's how everything works. We see that all the time, and it doesn't matter if it's short or long form. Like, you had Tucker Carlson peddling like a voter fraud election for how long, and then he was actively lying. You knew that because his like leaked text messages proved it, so he got fired, right? So like, you have to fact check everything regardless of the source of information. TikTok does come with this idea of like, there's an addiction to it. I don't know that there's ever been an addiction to like YouTube. I could be wrong, but TikTok has an addictive aspect where you just kind of like doom scroll, and it has like a profoundly negative impact on your life, which is probably something that he engages in, I would imagine, or they. But you can still get good sources of information. You have to just verify it.
you have this opinion. Okay, yeah, you got your news from TikTok. That's not a bad thing. But if the only thing you're reacting to is just some faceless person telling you in 30 seconds that you should be mad, I don't think that's encouraging smart behavior.
Who on TikTok criticized D'Angelo Wallace? Is that D'Angelo Wallace? Like, what's happening here?
And I think the whole outrage.
This is one of those things that like is annoying. And I listen, I might be nitpicking but there's a lot of things that he's taught. They're talking about, where they're like, you have to engage in the nuance of this topic. And you can't trust, like, you really shouldn't engage with people who are very short form and shitty about stuff. Okay, that's fair. But then they won't explain anything. Oh, somebody called me homophobic. Oh, what video? We don't know. You know what I mean? It's like, what TikTok are you referring to? Because I'm assuming someone at TikTok called you out. Oh, we don't know. Oh, okay. It's like okay, we're not getting an in-depth perspective though. What's happening?
It's towards the model is kind of replicating what TikTok does for.
Yo, what up, Caleb?
Just a brief period.
Caleb Hammer, I have a question for you. What the hell is this? What's up with your boy Graham Stephan?
Joey into daycare.
What's going on with your boy Graham Stephan platforming this fucking loser? Also, if you want, I'll come on your live show and I'll talk shit about Nick Shirley. We can have a debate about it. I would have no problem with that. But you don't have to take that. You can say you're not. You don't want to. But it could be interesting. Okay, super woke Papa Gut. I don't know. Something to think about.
Period of time. Here's this thing that people hate. Here's this thing that people hate. Here's this thing that people hate. And it's like, I don't think that makes any sense when it's not contextual. Again,
sure.
I know it may sound like, but I keep disclaiming everything because, as I said, that video kind of rocked me. But one of the main things I'm going to stop doing is disclaiming everything. I know that
why you don't? Shouldn't you qualify things? What the fuck?
The point I'm making makes sense. And I know that there are at least some people who will understand what I'm saying. So if you don't, I don't care. If you hate what I'm saying in this video, just move on with your life. I promise you will both be happier.
Well, I'm probably going to do that. Yeah. People want me to watch it, and we're probably never going to interact with it again. So,
but if you hate what I'm saying in this video, you are probably... Do I even have to say it?
I guess you think I'm dumb. Yeah, sure. I guess I should get really upset and then have a mental health crisis and say I'm traumatized.
The exact person I'm talking about, let's be real. And it's not
a white guy.
Just the 30 seconds at a time thing. I think TikTok also encourages people to be mad at other people for not knowing things. I noticed that's a big thing on TikTok is like, you want to be in the in crowd. You want to know what all the memes mean.
I love that. I love that. He's projecting his shit on like that. This is fucking... Dude, give me a fucking break. Hold on. Okay. Like, that's what your problem is you got upset because you didn't really seem to know what was going on with Israel-Palestine. And people called you out about it. And you got traumatized from it. And you're like, TikTok, this is TikTok's fault. I have no accountability myself. I don't make drama content that would cause me to have a more toxic audience. It's not my... it's like, come on, dude, stop. It's boring. It's just like boring. Take some accountability for yourself, You just gotta have accountability. Like it's what I find interesting, and let me just tell you, because this is something that I find, and I hate it when people do this, because I think it's pathetic and I think it's embarrassing. And it's the same people. It's the same thing as people who are like left leaning or something, and then they get some criticize or any leaning, but they get like criticism from like a certain group, and they radicalizes them. The right made fun of me, so now I'm super left. The left made fun of me, so now I'm super right. Like, you let one experience in your life that wasn't even that significant define you. Somebody was mean to you, so you crashed out and decided to shift your entire perspective and be like a fucking, like, and just change your entire worldview changed significantly. Like, I remember, like, I was making joking content, and then I got canceled over like a joke, and a lot of people that were upset with it were people on the left. And they took it out of context, and it was annoying and it was frustrating. And for like a moment, I went like a little right, and which is embarrassing. It's pathetic. And then I was like, you know what? I shouldn't do this. I'm not going to let this radicalize me. This is pathetic, right? So like, that's how I didn't do that, and it's now not a significant part of my thing. But like, now that's what you're doing. You're like, these people made fun of me a year ago for not knowing what's going on with Israel-Palestine and referencing Starbucks and specifically the Palestine and not actually talking about it, despite the fact that I do socially aware content. And now I've disappeared for a year, and I came back, and I'm going to complain about all these people because TikTok is bad and everything's bad and everything is connected. This is this, and there's Egyptian planes, and this is happening, and Israel, and this is this, and this is what you're doing. You're doing conspiracy draws. And well, TikTok is bad too, and so is this, and you're doing this. Is what you're doing. This is your energy. And that's why I'm fucking crazy now, and this is why I have all the the Anna Kasparian experience, right? You're Candace Owensing right now, right? Like, what are you doing? Like, this should be sad for you. You shouldn't have radical shifts because people are mean to you online. Yeah, Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's another example. They changed the color of my face when I took ivermectin, like, or something. Like, shut up. Like, it's okay to be pissed off for a little bit, but get over it. Jesus Christ! Now you're fucking platforming insane conspiracy theorists. Like, you're a moron. That's what I'm talking about. People are fucking piss me off so much. And that's like a weakness in our world. And a desperation and a desire to be a fucking victim. The manga is literally victims. Oh, they're displacing us. The vaccine is trying to control my low IQ 70. I have 70 IQ. I'm not easily controlled. So they need a vaccine to do it. Okay. You know, that's what it is. It's the whole fucking manosphere is. Fucking victims. Oh, women are the problem. I'm not going to better myself. I'm actually just going to try to bring them down to my level. Some aspects of feminism are like that. Hating on men instead of trying to build up women. This victim. Everyone wants to be a fucking victim. MAGA, fucking manosphere people, some feminists. Fucking, shut the fuck up. Shut up. You know, it's shut the fuck up. It's fucking boring. I'm so tired of this goddamn shit. This is the biggest fucking problem in our society. Everyone wants to be a fucking victim. It's pissing me off. All right, the people going, the illegals are taking our healthcare. That's not real. You're a victim. You're literally just not factual. You're a moron. You're already paying for their hospital visits. Anyway, what are you talking about? You are paying it for it, but you're being told they're on Medicare and Medicaid. They're not. You know what they are on? They're going to the hospital and they can't pay for it. Oh shit! They passed it on to you. Like you don't even know what you're talking about. Shut up.
I noticed that's a big thing on TikTok is like you want to be on the
yes, throwing out your principles over people like yes, absolutely. I think it's pathetic.
Crowd, you want to know what all the memes mean at all times. 6'7", what's that mean? No one actually knows, but we're all gonna act like we know. That's what was happening with Brigitte Bardot. We're all gonna act like we kind of knew this, and all these celebrities are dumb for not knowing this. Oh, that's what was happening with the Starbucks video. We're all going to be like, well, there's this other thing that we all know about and you didn't mention it, so you may actually be a Zionist. Or as that other comment said, you might be a dope or subliterate. You know what I mean?
Again, I don't think it's that unreasonable. Even if you're, so this is the problem, is that like all criticism online is disproportionate. I'm sure people are being mean to you, whatever. I don't think that fundamentally it's a problem that your very left-leaning audience that watches you because you do like snarky drama content sometimes and you call people out in an intelligent way and you're socially aware and you have social aware conversations. I don't think it's unreasonable for them to be like, why did you talk about it? You literally brought up Israel-Palestine and had no comment on it. That's what you did. That's weird. It's weird. Like, not for nothing, but in many instances, taking the center take. That's not even the center take. The center take on Israel-Palestine is, hey, listen, I don't really know what's going on, and so I'm more focused on American politics, so I'm an American. That's more of like a center take, because you're just like, I don't get it, and I don't want to get it. And I think that that's ignorant, but I think that there's something honest about that, and I get it. But like, you're the left-leaning guy who like, and something you bring up is you literally bring up the conflict and don't have a take on it. That sounds like fence sitting to me. Just because people articulated it poorly doesn't mean that you're in the right. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand, but it's everyone else's fault. It's just so interesting because like you have people like, I'm at this fucking point, like I'm 35. I am like, my brain is, I'm literal woke brained. I'm probably the most fucking woke person you ever met. Like, and what I consider woke is like, when you look at something, you're looking at like all the dog whistles, and maybe my brain is fucking rotted sometimes. But like and I don't think that this is unreasonable. I think a lot of you are woke brain too. Like when you see Trump attack Venezuela, what is he doing? Oh, he's attacking Venezuela. What is he saying he's doing? Oh, he's a narco terrorist. He's also saying he's going for oil. But then you're like, oh no, this is for oil and to distract from Jeffrey Epstein because Trump is on the list and he was supposed to release the entire files, and he's trying to distract you. That's my woke brain. That's my fucking woke brain. Like, that's what I'm seeing. And so when I see somebody that's in a very left-leaning community not have a particularly strong take about a topic that is like very prevalent in the community, my woke brain's saying that you actually don't care about what's going on over there. And again, I'm not that charged up about it. I'm just saying that's what I'm looking at, and I think that other people are too. Right? That's what woke is. You know? That's what woke is. So yeah, what the fuck are you talking about? You know, it's just like there's no accountability. Like I took a year and I didn't look at this in any critical capacity. It's like, okay, gotcha, man. You're good for you.
Don't understand how this turns into let's actually attack people for not talking about things, not knowing things, or even agreeing with us but not using the exact words that we want you to. And when you combine all this with the fact that,
dude, you didn't say anything. You okay? I already said it like 8 times. Enough is enough.
I don't know why, but people who have this hyper modern approach to consuming content, which is across all platforms, it's not only on TikTok, I just sort of attribute it to it. They do not understand that multiple things can be true. Yes, boycotts against Israel are hurting Starbucks and McDonald's sales worldwide. That is true. It is also true, in my video, as I said, that prices are going up at these places at an insane rate that the average consumer is just noping out of. Quote, many customers have gotten frustrated with price increases at...
It's so weird, man. I don't know. Because, like, I'm a content creator. I don't understand, like, especially for somebody that's more left-leaning. Like, you don't think it's worth clarifying a perspective that you know could get backlash? Like, I don't know. Like, I'll talk about things. I don't know if I can give you an example, but, like, there's sometimes you have to qualify things, everything. And the qualification was an extra 30 seconds talking about it. And you just didn't qualify it. You just decided to be, like, not talk about it. And then you got upset when people called you out, besides the fact that there is going to be a higher expectation that you do talk about it. But sometimes you need to qualify everything that you say. You want fries? I know, dude. I had fucking McDonald's yesterday. There was like it was called like the Diddy pack or something. No, that wasn't it. The Jets pack. And it was 2 cheeseburgers, 20-piece nugget, and then 2 medium fries for $20. Is that a good deal? I think that's not a good deal now that I'm saying it out loud. Maybe there were no drinks. Fuck, that was a bad deal. Damn, shit's expensive. What? All right. Fuck.
At fast food restaurants, which means they're going to casual dining restaurants like Chili's. McDonald's is trying to lure them back by cutting prices. Multiple things can be true. Okay. Brigitte Bardot was racist. She was also kind of iconic. I can say something in a video that strikes you as odd because I didn't explain it properly, or maybe you didn't interpret it properly. And
you didn't explain it at all, so they're not interpreting it incorrect.
And still not be Satan incarnate. I felt like I worked really hard to create a safe space for people on my channel where, like, if you're in the LGBT community, you're not going to click in and hope I don't call you a slur. Yeah, you know? If you're a woman watching...
Wow, the lowest expectations ever. I did a really hard... Hey, guys, I'm sorry. Maybe I'm just like, I'm at the end of the video and I'm worn out by this person. Like, how hard is it to create a... You look gay. Like, what do you mean? It was really tough for me to create a safe space where I didn't call you slurs when you clicked on my video. What the fuck are you... Like, it's fine that you might have put a lot of effort into making your platform, but, like, it was hard for you to make a safe space? You're like a non-binary, like, LGBTQ person. How did you make how was it hard for you to create a safe space? What are you talking about? Like, you're just saying stuff. By the way, why would it be hard for you to do? You tried really hard. Was it not? Is it difficult for you? Like, are you always saying homophobic shit? And you're like, I tried really hard not to. Like, do you understand the implications of your words right now?
I hope you're not going to click in and assume like I'm just going to start spouting red pill nonsense at you.
Nobody's going to think that. Look at you. Trying to be a fucking asshole. What are you talking about?
Because I secretly believe this. And the reason
Well, you wouldn't, though, because you don't look like somebody who would believe red pill nonsense.
I am able to, I think, try to be cognizant of multiple points of view watching my videos.
But you're not, because you didn't even reference the situation. Like, okay. All right.
Is because I used to read a lot of comments.
When
you have this influx.
I just don't. So just don't do it.
Of commenters coming in that are just saying the dumbest stuff I've ever heard of.
Pay somebody to read comments for you and have them interpret them in a way that is productive to you. You're rich.
It almost turned into a game where every single time I would post a video, I would be like, okay, let's see how this gets misinterpreted. This thing that I said or did not say is going to be taken out of context this way.
Oh no, basic media. I don't care. You're a content creator. I don't feel bad for you if you still haven't learned how to productively speak to people. Yeah, I make content for people, and like I'm worried sometimes that I misspoke. So make a mistake and learn from it. You're putting it onto me, like it's my fault, or your audience, like it's their fault for misinterpreting. You clarify better. Clarify better. Qualify everything you're talking about. Take the time to explain your perspective on things that you know people are going to want to hear about. I find it impossible to believe that this person talked about like topics and like lightly brushed on Israel-Palestine and refused to give their take on it and hasn't clarified their take on it in the past. I just clarify it. Qualify your take. Have some fucking balls and do the bare minimum, which is have a stance on Israel-Palestine from a left-leaning creator that talks about so like, whoa, holy fuck. What a high expectation from you. You know, like, what the fuck are you talking about? Give me a fucking break. Just give me a fucking break. It's just weird when you have like content creators who have seasoned content creators who are like literally you should have plenty of media training just from the experience of doing it. And you're like, I hate that I have to do the bare minimum to be a creator. Qualify my statements. Oh fuck. And your follow up was dog shit too. You weren't like, oh shit, I should have been more aware. Sorry. You were like blaming everybody. You just have an accountability problem. People have an accountability problem. This is the fucking problem. It's so interesting being a Papa God fan sometimes because people are absolutely going to call him conservative. Going to call him and his community a bunch of conservatives. I say, dude, absolutely not. This is one of the things is like I might have a more conservative like mentality, but like what am I saying here? I'm saying that he should have been more actively in support of Israel-Palestine, specifically Palestine, right? Like Gaza. He should have been more. He should have talked about it more. He should have actually qualified his take. My take is to be a grown up, understand that you have enough media training because you've been a content creator for a while. And you knew what the backlash was going to be if you didn't talk about it. You made an active decision to be lazy. So, like, maybe the conservative part is being more, like, I don't know, blunt or having some of a pick up yourself up by your bootstrap mentality, especially when you can do it, which he can or they can. But, like, well, I'm expressing the most progressive take in the entire fucking world. And it's a whole video. You know what I mean? So there's no way. Like, people, you know, maybe that's a jarring thing. Are we all supposed to, like, dance, like, around your feelings like a loser? Like a dance around like what's going on. Like we're adults here, you know. Be a grown up. Take some fucking accountability. Jesus Christ.
And then it would happen, or then sometimes it would happen in ways that I could never have predicted. And I thought that if I just kept looking at what stupid people were saying about my videos, I would be able to stupid proof them to the point where this wouldn't happen anymore. And it might sound kind of easy to say like, well, just ignore the haters, bro.
It is easy to do that.
Which I guess I sort of agree with, but I'm just not the kind of person who can ignore people calling me a genocide supporter.
I don't care. Okay.
You know what I mean? If you want to say that you think I'm a dope, that's fine. But it's weird how people will use the language of...
It's weird that you're still holding on to this a year later.
...morality to disagree with people nowadays. It's not enough to be like, oh, well, I don't know. I just think that you could have done this video in a way that made more sense. It has to be, here's a moral argument for why your choice was wrong and I am right.
See, this is why I don't care about this either, because like I just said before, you are never going to get proportionate criticism from anybody on the internet. That's how it works, right? And the reason is because like the minority is the loudest, okay, right? Like if you've ever been to a Waffle House, you'll know what I'm talking about. No, I'm just kidding. No, but the minority of people are the loudest and they'll be fucking obnoxious, right? And so they're going to tone police you and they're going to be fucking babies and they're going to cry and they're going to bitch and moan and say dumb shit. But there was a fundamentals is that like you should have had a stronger opinion on your stance on Israel-Palestine when you literally brought it up in reference to Starbucks in your video. You brought it up. You made a video about Starbucks. You brought up that there are boycotts because Starbucks apparently like the owner has a pro-Israeli stance, especially at a time where they're genociding people, specifically the Israeli governments, because I think Israel has a right to exist. I don't care if you get upset with that, but the government is genocidal, and Trump is trying to pardon Netanyahu, or he's saying he might pardon him for a Nobel Peace Prize or whatever, the Jewish Peace Prize. Ridiculous. Israeli Peace Prize. Crazy, right? You brought it up, and instead of being like, by the way, you know, what I think is happening over there is disgusting, and then moving on or saying, but that's not the point of this video, so I'm not going to go deeply into it, or, you know, something meaningful and intelligent and acknowledging, you decided to just not say anything about it. You had a fence-sitting take when you're a left-leaning creator that people have an expectation of. And so some people are being annoying about it. And instead of like being an adult that's media trained, doing content for a decade and understanding this and being like, I'm going to extract the productive parts of it and move forward, you made a 2-minute response that was like abysmal. It was like, I decided not to talk about it on purpose because it wasn't the point of my video. And then you say that your videos are nuanced, but like your videos are nuanced, but you intentionally avoid saying 30 seconds of information. Of course, people in your audience that are very left-leaning, that are very pro-Palestine, are going to look at you and go like, oh, this guy might be dog whistling. He has no strong opinion on Israel-Palestine. And then his follow-up is saying, free Palestine, but also you're being annoying. And like, it wasn't the point of my video, so why are you so annoying? Like, that's weird. Like, that doesn't make any sense, right? That's what being woke is looking for the dog whistles. Being woke is looking for the newest Trump issue. He went bombed in Venezuela. Why did he do that? It's for the oil, and because to distract us from Epstein, right? That's the whole point. That's what woke is. It's your woke is being like fucking dog whistle brain. Maybe totally online. You're woke. Fucking act like it. You want to be smart. You're going to have higher expectations onto you. You want to be fucking woke. If you're the one that talks about dog whistles and you know, and you're more socially conscious and aware, you act like it. Okay? It makes no fucking sense. You don't get to, what are you talking about? Right? That's how you work. That's how you operate. That's how you're supposed to. So it's just annoying. It's annoying. You're fucking bitching about this. Look for the productive, be more productive. Look for the productive criticism. Instead, a year later, you're coming back and you're bitching and crying about it. It's fucking boring.
People do that a lot and they're just really loud about it. Okay. So I say all of this to say something had to change. I realized,
you got a haircut? Great.
I realized like I can't keep doing this because
they say you hold trauma in your hair. That's what I heard. My aunt likes crystals and shit. So
because like to the average viewer, it might not even seem like anything is happening here since I'm not actually responding to these dumb comments in my videos. But I was getting
you literally are now
so worn down. I was losing so much of my confidence. I'm not embarrassed to say it.
I mean, like, I get it. I've been there too. You need to have somebody. So I don't know if they to me, they don't. To me, I'm just going to, maybe this is uneducated of me to say, but like, if you don't have a healthy relationship as a content creator with your content, you don't have a particularly strong, robust support structure outside of your content. And it's because you're not somebody, and that's your fault. You should be able to make friends. You should be able to have a friend or a family member or somebody who's willing to sit there and have these conversations with about you. I talk to my wife. That's who I parse my information with. I talk to her about my insecurities, what I feel self-conscious about, this, that, and the other thing, and we work through it. We have a productive relationship. I express my emotions to her, so I don't have to do it online and look like a fool. And if I do talk about it, it's usually productive. It's usually not good. It's me talking about it in a productive way. At least I like to think so. Like, I feel, hey, like, I compare myself to this person and it makes me feel insecure, but my wife is like, no, you're doing well. Compare yourself to yourself a year ago, right? Those are the times like, yeah, this is a great advice. And there's like a life advice in that too. I think it just fundamentally. But like the fact that you're doing this now, it means that you don't have somebody that's offline mentally to talk to you about this. Because again, my wife works a real job. She's a social worker, and you know what? And maybe I'm so incredibly fortunate. I don't understand my own privilege. Maybe I'm just like very fortunate because I have my wife, and like, this idea that you all should have the standard of support that I get from her. Maybe that's very privileged. Maybe that's my problem, But that would be my biggest problem. But I would say go look for that because you obviously don't have it.
I was getting honestly kind of depressed over being constantly misunderstood when again I feel like this is the one thing I was sort of good at, and that's
you weren't, I'll let you know.
That's why I took a break. I don't think me making content
but you didn't just take a break, right? You were traumatized, you said,
is kind of depressing me.
If you didn't say you were traumatized, I wouldn't care about like any of this, but you said you were traumatized.
Makes sense because then it turns into
I'm the wife guy.
It's not good content, right? But I wasn't about to let stupid people win either.
Well, you did. You took a break for a year and got traumatized from it.
You know what I mean? I think usually in the past when I've gotten depressed, I'm okay with it. I'm like, hey, I can't control my brain. I just work with it to the best of my ability.
I don't know, dude. It's weird to me. Like I didn't work for a year because I got depressed. There's no way that you can't in a year, less than that, figure out how to operate with your depression, whether it's going to like a doctor and getting like your meds under control or engaging in behavioral protocols or both at the same time. There's no way you can't do that in a whole year. And like, who can do that? Who's able to just like disappear for a year? That's just so, I don't know. Maybe the problem I'm having is like, I'm not going to, and again, like I'm very privileged now too. I make good money doing this. So like, I don't even have the rest of the problems that you guys do. Because like I'm more easily able to like afford, so I get that, but I could never take off for a year. I used to be fucking depressed all the time when I would work my other job. It was fucking, it sucked. They would take away my benefits. It was fucking miserable. My bosses would treat me like shit sometimes. Sometimes there were good moments too, of course. I would have more workload put onto me, despite the fact that I wasn't being treated fairly. You just gotta suck it up. How do you just disappear for a fucking year? I don't know. That's just crazy. So I guess I don't feel bad for people like this because I feel like they it's almost it's like they get popular online and then they just kind of like that's it, and like they just don't have any social interaction, and they don't have any responsibilities. Sometimes responsibilities can force you to be productive, and then like you can help you move through stuff. You know, like, even if like a family member dies, that's so sad. But like, imagine you didn't have to work ever. You could just take a month off. That might not be productive for most people. Maybe going back to work after like a couple of days, like get a couple of days, but go back to work is like good for you. Getting your life back on track, getting a distraction, moving forward. You know what I mean? But you don't have that. And it's almost like, part of your problem is that you're not in an atmosphere that encourages growth. If you have to go work, like you can't take too much time off. You have to be productive. I feel like if a rich person like this, they don't deal with it. Like they don't get to, I mean, they're almost disprivileged in some way by not having, there's no forced structure here. Yeah, there's no structure for this person. Like, and I have to make my own structure, right? Because I have to stream and then do my, all my other stuff, which I do. I have times to release this and that, whatever. But there's still structure there, and there's no structure here. There's no forced structure, right? And I'm trying to get more structured in 2026. I'm probably going to try to stream at a certain time and this and that, but you have no structure in your life. Like, why am I depressed? Why am I depressed? Part of it's because you don't have any structure, and you have enough money to get many medications you might need, because depression is real. I just want to be very clear. Depression is real, right? It's also Palestine because of what the Israeli government's doing to them. You get it? Depression is real. All right. They say explain the joke makes it funnier. But depression is real, and some people have like a chemical imbalance or whatever you'd call it. I don't know what the socially acceptable way is to say that is, so I'm not trying to be insensitive. By the way, I just qualified myself. I said something that I thought might be ignorant, and I qualified it to make sure I'm not being disrespectful. You could try that, D'Angelo. But you have the money to go to a therapist and motivate yourself and try to figure out protocols for that. So you have that, and now you need to create structure for yourself. You know what I mean? Like you don't have that like you're missing that. Now it's time to engage in behavioral patterns. Structure. You need structure. Go to therapy, or if you need it, get medications if you need it. Develop some structure in your life. Eat more leafy greens. That's also good for you too. Positive diet will create a more positive, doesn't mean it's going to be the cure-all, but a more positive interaction with your mental health. Same thing with exercise. Right? All these things in tandem. Going for a walk, getting off your phone, trying to alleviate that addiction, get off your phone. But these are all things that you can do to engage in better structure, in better structure and to be more healthy. And like, what did you do? You just took a year break off because people were upset with you over YouTube comments. It kind of on you at a certain point. What are you doing?
I take responsibility for my actions. It's
not really
my responsibility to make sure that I'm not allowing me being depressed to turn into me being hateful in my videos or making people feel bad or whatever. But this time I was like, nah, no.
Okay.
No, what
okay.
is going on here? This doesn't make any sense. And I know that there is probably a way where I can get the best of both worlds here. I'm not going to read every comment. I mean, I wasn't reading every comment I got, obviously.
I think that you were, and I think that's part of your problem.
I get a lot of comments. Thanks, guys. But I'm not even going to be reading like the bulk of the comments that I'm getting anymore.
I don't anymore. Yeah, see, that's
because I don't know who those are coming from.
Yeah, but that shows another issue, is that you were literally sitting online, refreshing your comments, reading what everybody was saying. That's an obsession. You have an addiction and an obsession to the way that people look at you. And again, as a creator, it's important because you have to be aware of yourself as like we'll call it a brand. Like, that's part of your brand is you need to be aware, and you need to look at criticism, and you need to be like, okay, let me look at that in a more educated way. But like, if you're sitting there scrolling and constantly looking, blah, 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 like you're perseverating on that, like that's not good for your mental health. That's your fault. That's your fault. That's your issue. That's the way that you're interacting. And again, like this video reads heavily as like everything is everybody else's fault. But like, you're not saying I'm not going to read comments anymore because it's unproductive. And like, I realize that I'm being obsessed with it and that's my problem. You're like, I'm not going to read it because like you guys suck, which is both true. But like, it's the way that you're framing what you're saying is very important. Like, whose fault is it? Is it the commenter's fault or yours? Maybe he'll say something and I'll look really stupid in like 2 seconds.
I really, truly don't. Actually, I do. I do know who they're coming from. And
yeah, see, he's not going to put it onto himself. He's going to identify the issue, and then he's going to put it onto somebody. He's going to put it onto you. It's like your fault. No, that's just how things are. That's just what it is. Ignore it. Move on.
I don't like those people. They were never a part of my like content strategy, if I can use a really annoying word there.
That's not really a strategy. You mean a phrase? What are you talking about?
I do think that there are a lot of commentary creators whose content strategy is to cater towards TikTok people, and they kind of just like glean the right opinion from the comments beforehand and then just say that in their video, and that's the content. And then you get so many people, you know, hyping you up and agreeing with you and giving you the social capital for having the correct opinion. And I'm like, have fun, I guess. But that was never why I was making videos. But that was sort of what it felt like. I
mean, I could appreciate that, I guess, because he didn't like fold over when he got criticized. He did kind of double down. I do understand that. But like, again, that's just a weird thing for you to say at all. Because like you, according to your video here, you don't have the wrong opinion. You just didn't clarify it. I don't know. I might be getting a little fucking woke here, but it sounds like you're almost a little, I mean, I don't really care, but it sounds like you're a little pro-Israel here. What's the wrong opinion? Like, you had the right opinion, you just didn't express it. That's the problem, no?
had to turn into if I wanted to avoid this problem. But then
this is so weird to me.
I finally settled on what I think, personally, is a really great solution. I am going to continue uploading videos, multiple videos a week, actually. Cool. But I'm going to record them live in front of a studio audience. Not in front of a studio audience. Just
yeah, we could tell you're going to do live streams. You're changing your strategy to do like lower effort content, which is smart, by the way. I think it's incredibly smart. It's interesting though that you felt like you needed to make a significant change and you didn't express any other issue, and you're being very emotionally expressive here. So like, I imagine if you were like, yeah, I was getting really tired of making like videos that took effort, and that on top of the criticism was frustrating because I'd put a lot of effort into something. I'm just putting shoes on, I'm cold. And like, this was the straw that broke the camel's back. That can make sense to me. But it is a little strange that like you disappeared for a year. Now you're just making kind of a big content shift. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. I'm gonna say 4, maybe 6 or 7 months. And there's gonna be this is gonna be like your like reverse Sneeko soon. I don't know. There's gonna be something weird about this. It's gonna be strange. There's gonna be strange doing more live streaming. I would recommend against it for a lot of people. It's easy, but like it's different. You got to be careful. You're opening yourself up to interacting differently, and you're going to end up being more raw, especially depending on how you do your live streams. It depends on how you do them, but it's difficult to not get raw when you do stuff like that, especially if you're going to talk for 4 hours, because you got to keep on a persona the whole time, or else you're going to leak. And I don't know. I think it's not going to be too long before D'Angelo burns out. But
here live on the channel. Many of you saw my live stream yesterday and had fun there. I had fun. I had a blast. The people there seemed to have a blast, or maybe they were all being held hostage by me. Either way, it worked for me, and that's the main thing I'm looking for. I am creating a new environment for myself where I have people reacting to what I'm saying in real time, actually. So, for example, if I'm on a live stream and then I say, oh, Brigitte Bardot, rest in peace icon, you can say, oh, you might want to peek at that Wikipedia page a little harder. And then that is when I, a human being with a human brain that is not perfect and not all-knowing, can then look at that Wikipedia and on my stream be like, whoa.
That's weird. Like, it's a benefit to live streaming, just to be clear. Like, I like that part of live streaming too. I don't do it for that necessarily, but I do like that. What the fuck is my front doorbell offline? But it's just kind of strange that that's your interaction with it. Like, yeah, I'm streaming so that you can give me instant feedback so I don't get in trouble anymore. Like, oh, that's weird. Why are you letting this criticism dictate your entire career trajectory? Is strange.
Not one of the final bosses of racism. Okay, don't rest in something. I can't say.
You say rest in piss.
What here?
But not really. Don't say that.
Or on YouTube. But oh my god, if I'm making a video about Starbucks and you're like, hey, D'Angelo, what do you think about the boycotts on Starbucks? That's my chance to be like, oh, I have many opinions actually about boycotting and its efficacy. Boycotting is a good thing that we should be doing. I can tell you right then and there, honestly, the majority of my outline, because I was talking about multiple things, it's mostly focusing on these other.
I don't understand what's happening right now, because this doesn't really track for me. There's something weird about it, because originally you made this video, you decided not to talk about Israel-Palestine, even though you kind of brought it up. And then when people criticized you, you were like, well, that wasn't the point of the video. Like, obviously I'm pro-Gaza, maybe. But that wasn't the point of my video. And now you're saying, though, that you're going to come on a live stream, you're going to do similar content, kind of. But then if they bring the criticism up to you, you're going to be like, oh, it's time to talk about it. But like the biggest issue was that your mentality was to not talk about it intentionally. So okay. I don't know. This seems strange. It just seems like this is such a strange way to interact with this. It's also kind of obsessive that they are still so like caught up in what the fuck's going on. But like, yeah, even his response was like, "Oh, I think boycotting is great," but like, weren't they? Wait, hold on a second, wait.
At Starbucks and something, I can't say what here on YouTube, but oh my god, about the boycott. Making a video about Starbucks, and you're like, hey, D'Angelo, what do you think about the boycotts on Starbucks?
And we're specifically talking about Israel-Palestine, right?
That's my chance to be like, oh, I have many opinions actually about boycotting and its efficacy. Boycotting is a good thing that we should be doing.
It's weird. Didn't he just generalize a specific point? I'm not reaching at all. I watched the whole video. You came into the stream late. You have no idea what I'm talking about. I don't understand because the issue was they were specifically upset you didn't talk about the boycott, like the Palestinian or the Israel-Palestine boycott, and then they're like, oh, what do you think about the boycott? And then you generalized it down to like, hey, boycotting in general is good. It's a little okay. I don't know. It's like questionable. No, the way that you're interpreting this, okay, it's weird. I don't know. This is just like a mess of ideas this guy has. Okay.
I can tell you right then and there, honestly, the majority of my outline, because I was talking about multiple things, it's mostly focusing on these other aspects of why Starbucks is crashing and burning. But yeah, free Palestine. You know, I can do that in an environment where it's not just me crossing my fingers and hoping that each little tick.
It's like so weird. Like all you had to do is have a not fence-sitting stance on the topic when you brought it up yourself in a video. You brought it up. It was prompted. You brought it up. You brought up Israel-Palestine. You didn't have a take on it, despite the fact that like you are somebody that would have a take on it, and then you got criticism. Like you know what I mean? Like it's weird. It's like it's like I don't understand. It's like you left the chicken out overnight, and you're like, what the hell? Why is it? What the fuck? Why did it go bad? You know what I mean?
Talk-sized portion of my video is not going to get misinterpreted and essentially get me in a bunch of trouble with people who should not be listened to in the first place. I want to have fun making content. Okay, I have fun making commentary videos. You have fun watching them. But when I also had that
true, I make money doing it.
Anxiety of like, yes, in a few hours, people will be watching this and they may not be listening to what I'm saying. And this might be even worse than the Starbucks scenario. I sat down to record and started getting panic attacks, y'all. It's not good. I should not have to push through panic attacks to make content about things.
What? Fucking panic attacks? I'm going crazy.
May not be listening to what I'm saying, and this might be even worse than the Starbucks scenario. I sat down to record and started getting panic attacks, y'all. It's not good.
That's fucking crazy that you get panic attacks over light criticism from like barely any of your audience that you keep saying is barely anybody. It's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Give me a fucking break. Okay, panic attacks. I'm sure you're not going to have panic attacks live streaming. Yeah, he's going to need a break after like a month or two. He's going to be fucked. He's not understanding because there's another, I think they go by he, but whatever. There's another issue too, is like when you're live streaming, you have problems where one of the things that triggers me into fucking oblivion is when you make live streaming content and you go through an entire video, you'll have people who will come into your video when you're like, we're like 95% of the way done with this. And they'll have an opinion that is like addressed in some capacity at the beginning of the content that I made. Or you need the whole flow of the video to get to what I'm talking about now, to have a productive experience with what I'm saying. And like it was D'Angelo, if they say something controversial, they're going to have to qualify it 70 times in a live stream. Like they're opening themselves up for more criticism. Like you're kind of putting yourself in a bad spot. It's all fun now and good for you, and hopefully you don't have a bad association. But if you start live streaming just for like the shits and giggles and you're just farting around having fun, like whatever. But if you're going to make content, especially commentary live, you're putting yourself in a bad spot. Because if you can't handle some mean comments over your fence-sitting takes on Israel-Palestine, you're not going to be able to handle comments later on. And you're opening yourself up more for people to say shit. Did I say Nicholas D'Angelo? Maybe. What the fuck? Am I fucking crazy? Maybe you might be trolling me, actually. You're a fucking troll. Anyway, D'Angelo Wallace. I don't know what I said. You're gaslighting me, I think. I don't know. Anyway, you're opening yourself up, especially like, oh, I must have actually said Nicholas D'Angelo. Fuck, dude. Dude, my brain is fucking fried. I'm still tired, guys. I haven't completely adjusted, all right? That's crazy, Caleb. Yeah, react to fucking OnlyFans content live. That's really good for your content strategy. No, but you're putting yourself in a bad spot. And then if you do say something controversial and you made it a point to live stream consistently, you're going to come onto a live stream. People are going to be like, they're going to say things to you and you're going to crash out because apparently you're not able to kind of, I don't know, like interact with these things productively, or as productive as you think so. Making a change isn't necessarily productive. You're doing a grass is greener right now. For the way that you have an interaction with your content, this is going to be a net loss for you mentally, and you're going to end up going on break in like 2 months, maybe 3, 6, 7. I don't know. Yeah, listen, I never watched a whole lot of D'Angelo Wallace content, or some like to say Nicholas D'Angelo content. But a lot of feedback, and I'm going to be honest with you, I get the energy that this person was very morally virtuous, especially when they were maybe younger. And just because you take a break doesn't absolve you of your sins. So it sounds like you're a very toxic motherfucker, and you got toxic motherfuckers coming back at you. And now you're like, why is everything so toxic? You know, and again, I could just be miseducated. I want to make sure you guys understand that. Like, there's a lot of people in my audience that are saying this. But you do also give me the vibes. So I wouldn't doubt it.
I should not have to push through panic attacks to make content about things that are happening online.
Okay, whatever.
And I personally don't think I was overreacting. I don't think
you were 1,000%.
I think it's an overreaction.
That's your problem, is that you think that your behavior was acceptable.
To panic because you don't want people to essentially call you everything that you disagree with. And
I mean, listen, I've felt overwhelmed by making content online as well. Like, it happens. It's frustrating. It's upsetting, especially when you're in controversy. It's life. I don't know. Again, maybe I have a better support structure and I'm very fortunate. Maybe that's what it is, but you were overreacting.
Your heart of hearts. So yeah, y'all ain't finna win. I'm not.
They already have.
Going anywhere.
You're drastically shifting your content perspective, and you left for a year.
And I'm not going to change my opinions to make sure I'm saying everything the exact way you want me to say it. You know.
Again, the problem was you didn't say anything. That's the problem here.
Oh, like something I said, clock me in that live stream, because I grow, as I've mentioned, from people sharing their opinions and their perspectives. And
no, I just, listen, I'm just going to tell you right now, the D'Angelo Wallaces and the Asmongold's of the world are going to just have 5 years from now, we're going to realize how fucking embarrassing these people are. Like, terminally online people who got popular young are completely disconnected from the rest of society, that are pretending to be relatable, that have never had to work a real meaningful job, that could take a year off for their mental health because they fence sat on Israel-Palestine and got upset when people criticized them. Like, just disconnected rich people. Like, you are the bourgeoisie, and you've never had a point of reference of like working hard to build your brand, right? Because you just got successful young, and that's great. I'm sure you worked hard, but there's a difference between working hard plus working hard to get your brand going. It's a very different thing. It's like having a meaningful build. If you could take a year off, it's just different. It's the same thing as like, you could work at McDonald's. That could be a career job, or it could just be a high school job. It depends on what your association with that thing is, right? Does that make sense? Right? So I look at McDonald's as a real job. There are fucking people who are 30, 40 years old. Maybe they don't even have access to education, and they're working McDonald's plus overtime to just try to get, put food on the table. And I think that's a beautiful thing. And I think that you should be able to afford living working at fucking McDonald's on like 2 incomes. But like, we just got this, like, people like this, like Asmongold, like Hassan Parker, like, they're just so terminally online. They have no rooting in reality. They never had to like meaningfully struggle in the way that life really, like, a struggle with real life is, which is like going to work, having to work, needing to pay bills, having responsibilities for other people around you. Right? Like, they don't have these, and they have like other issues that most people don't have the privilege to have, like mental health crises over very minor issues. And a lot of it is terminally online behavior, because like, why do they have mental health issues? Specifically, in general, a lot of it's chemical, but why do they have like mental health issues associated with their content? Because they're sitting there and they're just doing this. I got a comment, I got a new comment, I got to read it, I have to read it. You're perseverating on this. You're engaging in a toxic behavior, which is exacerbating your mental health in a negative way. Right? That's what it is. Right? But like everybody has mental interactions with the world. And then there are things that exacerbate those issues. And so if you're more sensitive mental health wise, that's totally fine. But like you're engaging with things unproductively to spark more mental health problems, right? It's like, let's say you're somebody who has more of like a predisposition to getting upset in crowds, and you work at Costco. Maybe you should work at Barnes and Noble, right? Like very simple. That's a very basic one. But like maybe work somebody where, if you can, but this is just an example, that's going to be less that's going to be less negatively impactful on your life, right? That's what, you know what I mean? So you're sitting there and you're having an unproductive engagement with your comments and your content, and you're like, it's everyone else's fault. You need to learn to better moderate yourself. You're rich. Pay somebody to read your comments and have them give you a productive feedback on it. You can do that, but you don't. And like, that's your problem. Your problem isn't that you have a higher disposition. Your problem isn't that you're sensitive. Your problem isn't that you have a higher disposition to mental health problems, and probably I do. Your problem is that you don't know how to have a productive relationship with your own content. And instead of learning that, you run away, privileged. That's the problem. Right? That's like 100% your problem. You are you, and like you're responsible for yourself for the most part, and you're rich, so you can be more responsible for yourself than anybody else. So like engage better with your content. Like engage better. And what's funny is you're engaging the opposite direction. You're engaging in the opposite direction. You're going to make things worse for yourself by live streaming more often. It's fucking crazy. It's interesting. It's interesting to me because, like, again, there's so many people, and again, maybe I'm just being an asshole. Asmongold, Hassan, Nicholas D'Angelo. A lot of these people who got very popular very young. And again, I'm not saying they don't work hard, but they didn't have to work hard to get where they are. Right? Does that make sense? And it was almost handed to them. They kind of blew up at a time where things were blowing up, and it maybe could have been anybody, but it happened to be them. And they didn't like have to engage in they didn't have to be aware of their brand. And so they don't even know what the fuck they're doing or talking about sometimes. Like they don't understand like the surrounding aspects of some of the ways that they interact. Like they don't understand brand awareness in a more productive way, or having a productive interaction with your comments, or any of these, or how to productively deal with negative feedback, because I guess they didn't really get it for a long time. And like they just haven't developed protocols. Like, but you wouldn't have been successful unless you got on the ground floor, right? I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just thinking out loud. Maybe I'm talking through it. Jesus Christ. Maybe I'm like working through a concept, or I don't know. But okay. Maybe I'm just fucking like my brain is like mush because we've been interacting with like a fucking Asmongold slop for so long.
And then if you are not a live stream enjoyer, which is fine, by the way, for you, it's almost like nothing will change because you're just still going to get videos like this. The only difference is there will be a chat off to the side that sometimes I'll be reacting to. Honestly,
this is not going to be good for this person.
I'm kind of psyched about this as a plan because I feel like the streams are going to be really fun. I feel like the videos are going to be really fun. I'm kind of getting back to the heart of why I started this channel in the first place, which is literally just talking about stuff. It should not be a PR game. And
it should always have to be a PR game.
Refuse to play it.
And it's like, I don't like the framing of this because it's like, I'm not going to play your PR game. I'm going to play the PR game because you guys are going to, there's different ways to look at PR, public relations. It's really just, it's really just like your optics. I'm always going to. What does optics mean from a business perspective? Oh, we're trying to sell you something. What does optics mean on like a one-to-one person perspective? Hey, I'm hanging out with my friend that doesn't really like jokes about women's bodies, so I'm not going to make those jokes around them because it makes them uncomfortable. Is that not PR in some capacity? And I'm not saying that you should make jokes about women's bodies without that friend, you know what I mean? But you understand like my point, right? It's like PR is just like how you interact with people. It's just code switching. So there's a difference between like I speak very rawly. Speaking raw, in a raw way doesn't mean that you're not optics driven. Oh, I'm not going to appeal to you. What the fuck does that mean? Well, you know what I mean? Like, I'm always going to care. Like, yeah, you should care. And sometimes I will not care about the way you want me to interact with you. That's fine. But, like, I'm always going to care about PR. I'm always going to care about optics. I'm always going to care about my brand. And that just means, like, sometimes being sensitive to certain groups of people. And sometimes being intentionally not sensitive to other groups of people. Right? Like we're not exactly the most sensitive people to like MAGA here, but I like to be sensitive to other people, like other groups of people, you know? So like, again, it's just, I don't know. You're just saying like anti shit.
It doesn't make any sense. Now,
Okay.
as for my commenters, I'm still gonna read your comments.
Like, you don't have to change your perspective to be more sensitive to different people.
But like within reason.
You're literally going to read all their comments. What are you talking about? That's what their live stream is going to be for.
Read the top comments. I'm gonna make sure I'm aware of what people are saying. You know what I mean?
You're going to crash out in like a month.
Cannot open
I'm probably going to post a video, get like some annoying like negative feedback from this, and I'm going to ignore it, and this person's going to be gone in a month, and you're not going to care anymore.
the tab
That's what's going to happen. And you're going to be like, oh wait, he was right.
to any and everything anyone has to say while convincing myself it's somehow for my own good, when many of the people commenting are doing so maliciously because a lot of the people watching videos are dumb now. There's probably a
Now. Okay, as if it's been any different ever.
better way I could have explained all this. There were probably 50 million analogies or ways I could have made this point. I could have used AI to optimize my point into something that nobody could have misunderstood.
You think that AI is that capable? Okay.
But I'm not interested in that because I'm a real person making videos.
Okay. This is like the weird like I don't care about I don't care about what you have to say.
So on the one hand, I want to be treated
Fucking cringe, dude.
like a person and not an opinion factory that you just start hitting it with.
You think 10 weeks? That's generous, I think. That makes sense though. It's the first week of January. Drama's going to start picking up second or third week of January, and like you're basically saying like 2 months after that he's going to burn out. Yeah, that makes sense.
The stick when it spits out the wrong opinion. But I also want to make some mistakes. I want to get some things wrong. I want to not know about some things and learn about them in real time, and I want that to be content. I want
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll just be wrong, guys.
TikTok people to click into my videos and see me learn and grow. I think that's going to do a lot more for everyone than whatever game I thought I could win last year.
What are you talking about? What game are you talking about?
2024.
It sounds like you were like obsessed with everybody. This is what I'm hearing here, is that this person was obsessed with people liking them. Not that they were necessarily obsessed with being right. They're obsessed with being liked. That's fucking gay. No, but it's cringe to be obsessed with being like. I want people to like me too. Like I'm not gonna lie to you, but I don't make it my like number one strategy is like I really want people to like me, so I'm gonna say that fuck you. I don't care. You know, like I think people will like me for what I have to say, and if that's not something you're into, like go away. I don't give a fuck. But like it sounds like they wanted people to like them. It doesn't. I don't think that they know how to differentiate people liking them versus like criticism. Maybe, I don't know. I might just be burnt out. Maybe I'm not making a good point here, but I do see more of an obsession with being liked than anything else.
Yeah, I wasn't winning until now though, because in the end,
he's on a high. Or they're on a I it's gonna burn soon.
The thing in the end is always finna be me grinding. That's the thing.
Yeah, they were obsessed with being liked and feeling right. Sure, I can see that.
You know, this platform could have no people left. There could be 5 people watching YouTube.com, and I would still be posting videos because I love doing this. It was this or like,
okay.
Y'all don't want to know what the or like was. It wasn't good. So
is it OnlyFans? Like, what would you do? If it's for me, it's either this or I work a fucking regular job, like a grown ass fucking adult.
I take it very seriously.
Like, you look like you work at like Expressions or like a fucking Hot Topic or something. I don't know.
I'm so grateful for your
trade job. Maybe I would do
support. And also, I wasn't even scared to take as much time as I needed to think about all these things and process all these things.
Yeah, that's weird. Most people are because they need to afford to live.
Because I knew that the people who I'm actually making videos for, they will wait. And when it's time to pop off and do
hey, baby. Sorry, my wife brought me food.
Our thing, they will be there. So thank you for being there. And I can't wait to see you. Oh, wait, hold on. I didn't tell you my schedule. So I don't have a schedule.
Okay.
You should know that by now. Like, be so for real. But in a perfect world, I would stream on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 12 p.m. EST. So if it's 12 p.m. on a Tuesday, Thursday, or Saturday, you can go look and see if I'm streaming. And if I'm not, you're like, oh, nah, I knew he wasn't going to stick to. Yeah, me too. That's why I said this is not a schedule. I essentially.
That's your problem, though, right? Is that you don't have a schedule. So I don't really have a streaming schedule right now. I might get it together, but I have a video posting schedule, right? It's 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. depending on the length. Like if I usually have like a 2-hour length thing, so I'll try to post 2 hours plus of like 2 hours of content a day. So if I have like a 4-hour video, I'm going to post it by itself. But if I have 2 1-hour videos, I'll post it too. Anyway, that's my structure. So it motivates me to have to come on and I have to stream and I have to keep up with that structure and I have to be aware of time that needs to be taken off because I have real life events and this and that. And I have to have a backlog and I have to do. Right? You're not giving yourself structure. Or maybe they'll have a video release structure. I doubt it. Let's see, my editor's in here. I'm late, but I heard about breaks and Grok said he used, and this is Grok, so take it with a grain of salt. He used to take a lot of 2-month breaks. Then in 2021, he took a 9-month break, then a year break in 2020 to 2023, then a 2024 break till now. Dude, that's crazy to me. Fucking good for you, I guess. This is ridiculous.
Wouldn't be streaming outside of those times. So just check those times. And then as for the actual videos that I'm going to create.
Oh, maybe they'll have structure here. Maybe
from those live streams by editing them down into this format, which you're all used to. I'll just be posting the normal videos for however many streams I had that week. So hopefully multiple videos a week.
Okay, no structure. Gotcha.
3 times, 3 streams, 3 videos. I feel like it's going to go really well, but there's only one way to find out.
I hope so. It's not going to go well. I could just see there's like so much cope in their face.
And I'm psyched to find out. So
I don't think this person is geared to make content anymore. I know that sounds intense, but back in the day, things were very niche. And you had a lot of creators who would say dumb shit or generate toxic audiences or be crazy. And they were stuck in their sphere. Like there was very intense spheres. YouTube is very mainstream right now. And now, when I even say right now, I would say now. I think that's just how it's going to be forever. I guess hopefully I'd like to maintain my success as well. And there are tremendous amounts of different communities interacting with each other. And so now this person has a lot of other communities interacting with them. People, and there's more people that are interested in more things, right? Like the people in my community are in a lot of other communities as well that are like very different. I think I have a pretty rounded community base. I have like a lot of people that are all over the place. And so like this is somebody that doesn't understand. You're going to get criticism immediately because of all the different types of people that are online and how like different communities are molding with other communities, or melding, I think would have been the better word, but with different communities. Like you're not going to be able to handle it with your current way that you're dealing with stuff. You're just not going to be able to handle it. Like you don't really seem to have a particularly productive interaction with your own content. And you seem like very high energy. You seem very ungrounded. You don't have any structure. And so like if you get those things, I'll tell you those things, being grounded, getting structure, lowering your energy productively through like, some kind of meditative protocol, it could be reading, honestly. It could be reading, playing a slow video game, exercising, all these different things. Taking your mind and slowing it down, forcefully slowing your mind down is very productive. If you do those things, you could be very productive and you could be a great content creator. And who am I to say good or bad, because I'm not a particularly big content creator, but I don't think that without those things, you're going to succeed. I think 10 weeks was actually a reasonable number. So, I mean, good luck to you though, I guess.
Oh, thank you. And it's just so nice to want to make content again. Yay! Bye. I can't believe how racist she was. Oh my god.
Oh, crazy. Cool. Good video, I guess. Again, it's interesting because like want to make content is like, oh, I want to because I feel like making content. For a lot of people, even myself, like I enjoy making content. Because and part of it's because I need money, right? I genuinely enjoy this, but there's plenty of days where I don't want to make content. There's been months where I don't want to make content. It's just a fucking life, but I have a motivator because I need to provide. I need to make money, right? So it's interesting what need like or like wants to make content for you is versus like everybody else. And like for me, it's like a lot. It's me like actually being able to provide, and for you, it's just like an outlet for fun, I guess. So I don't know. It's very something that I don't resonate with. I don't understand your experience. So maybe that's the whole problem with my video. Maybe I'm not empathetic enough.